M Cave mystery, some big activity, some strange returns, and also the presence of threats. Now, I will be repeating myself very shortly because I know live streams don't always include the beginning part for some unknown reason. But just make sure everything is all in order first of all before I go anywhere with this live stream. Apologies if there is noise out there. There's a lot of fireworks. Bit late bonfire night, but I guess people are making up for it now. Probably it's a Friday. And speaking of which, I don't know if it's going to be busy tonight or not. I don't know if enough people will show up. I hope so, because there's a lot to talk about. Quite a few bullet points and notes. What we'll consider though is if it's super quiet, I'll cover so much and then maybe do the rest another time. We'll just see how it goes. I did do an announcement earlier about this live stream at 20:30 or so roughly. Welcome to those that are currently here. We got Maddie, good that you're here. Good evening or good morning, depending on the time zone difference. And to the 6 other people watching in the background. So I'll do a little intro now so YouTube doesn't cut anything out. Hi there, welcome to big activity once again. More news coming about, more strange things going on in the Kenny Veach M Cave case in different ways. Seeing levels of resistance, levels of misunderstanding, levels of incompetence, levels of obsessions, levels of being silenced. All kinds of things are going on in one place. But this is what happens when you get consistent. The same can happen to viewers who are consistent too. And in some ways or another, the odd viewer here and there has been under attack or threat too, which seems a bit unnecessary, but that's what external people are doing out there. I'm going to get through it bit by bit today. Allow enough people to join this live stream, maybe about 15, 20, round about that number, and then I'll hammer it in and we'll just see what's to talk about from the mineshaft, the recent videos that have been done, the meaning behind them as a debrief, the mention of really Robin, what's happened there, the last video that was done, maybe a psychological breakdown depending on how things go, and the death threats as well. We've got Blue Owl as a good username. Welcome to the channel and the live stream. We've got Sweet Echoes present again with the dolphin profile picture, I believe. We've got Larry. It's good that you're here once again. And just by saying that by command, 15 people present up to now, which is really good. Ooh, Blue Owl from Italy. Nice. Don't really get anyone from Italy watching, with the exception of a couple of people here and there. So that's good to see. See if there's any other familiar faces that come along over the course of this live stream. I'm starting it early like I normally do, just because time zone difference, and so it works for me. So every now and then I will catch up with the live chat. Feel free to share your thoughts, opinions, your discussions. There we go, Elizabeth Espinoza. I remember you, Elizabeth. I definitely remember you from Colorado, USA. Yeah, it's interesting how you get returning faces or people that have been watching with time. Most of the cough might be a little bit intermittent tonight when I'm talking. I might cough here and there. Not much I can do about that. But yeah, before going deep into today's live stream, if anyone has any questions, feel free to leave them in the live chat. If you have any thoughts, theories, let me know. If you want my thoughts on the case or a particular matter within the case, feel free. AZ Death Riders. There we go. That's a really good name. That's a really good username. I like that, Death Riders. And is that the Grim Reaper profile picture? Yeah, nice. So, oh yeah, that's the other discussion about the mystery coordinates. I'll be getting into that. Imperial Rick. Speaking of which, hi there, Imperial. Quick question, Rick. Is your profile picture of Jeffrey Dahmer? Because if it is, it's a coincidence that, I'll tell you why in a second. Kind of. There we go, we've got EJ Ball. That's good. But your hair. Larry, what do you think about the fingerprints on the brass that was found? Do you think it could have helped? Good question. In my opinion, because of the bullet casing likely dating back at least a few years ago, if anyone was to last handle it, as in a potential killer or a hunter, probably would have been quite some years ago before SB got his hands on it. So I'm thinking that for fingerprints, because of the environment, the terrain, how things can be washed away, rain, hot temperatures, cold temperatures, fingerprints can be lost over time, DNA can be lost with time, and depending on the temperatures, the environment, it can speed up that process. It's like with when you get footprints in the ground when it's been a bit wet, muddy, someone's gone missing, footprints show going in a certain direction, and a search has been done. Maybe there's pauses, it's halted in between, and then they return back to searching, but it gets to winter time where the ground becomes really hard. So those footprints are preserved temporarily, but due to the temperature changes, and if it does warm up in between and whatnot, it can cause the ground to crack, those muddy, hardened footprints to crack, break down, and then you've lost it. So I think that can apply to fingerprints as well. If the bullet casing was found, if it relates to Kenny, if it was found at the time and analysed, you might have a better chance. But it's quite spread when it happened or when it was discharged, if you want to put it that way. Deaf Riders, let's just check here. I'm in Arizona, nice. Watched Mr. McGee before he was lost. Ah, so you were watching Kenny Veach before he disappeared. That's interesting, that, very interesting. I've been watching videos of him for a while. I saw all of Robin's videos before he was gone. Okay. I don't think I really watched Kenny's other videos, but I saw on his channel he had quite a few. They all disappeared. Why would all of Kenny's other hike videos disappear, but his one M Cave hike video remain? Was it because the other videos were that important they needed to be removed, hidden? Death Rider, been here since day one, basically. Nice. Anyways, so much searching and no Kenny yet, but a lot of questions too. Anyway, welcome to everyone else that is watching and in the background. And if you have just recently joined this live stream, a lot of big activity in the case, a lot of strange, weird things occurring. The death threats have returned back, a reflection on the recent videos, the importance of it, the link to the mine shaft, once again, references to that. With the amount of people that are watching now, I'm going to kick things off, okay? If Jeff Clark joins later, he probably will join late if he does come about, but I need to mention some things there. So, a video that was done in recent time as for an important discussion, first of all, is the mystery coordinates, where just a viewer gave coordinates, two of which were near Hayford Peak and a bit further beyond north. Much further away to where Kenny Veach was hiking, maybe about 4 or 5 miles onwards, which Kenny Veach could have done if he hadn't done his hike loop back to his vehicle. But there are problems because Kenny's scent ended at the mine shaft before Wild Horse Pass, before even thinking of going north onwards to get to such as Hayford Peak, etc. And take in mind, when I give the measurement 4 or 5 miles, I don't mean from Wild Horse Pass to Hayford Peak or up the mountains. I mean from Wild Horse Pass to the base of the canyon, where then you would have to then cover even more distance heading up to wherever. The coordinates weren't created by me, but by viewers here and there. Some hikers, some people, even like Jeff Clark, has mentioned it's not practical. There are negatives to it. But if it's under control, it's under control, and it's not a problem. And that'll make more sense in just a second. Let's just see. Death Rider, yes, truly strange. There is someone's hand involved. His ex, most plausible. Thanks for your research, Raf. You're welcome. And it's good to see a long-time person within the case. Imperial, I quite liked the TV series of Jeffrey Dahmer. There we go. So what I'll say to you, Imperial Rick, there was a phase where a couple of people on my channel, viewers, thought I looked like Ted Bundy. So Imperial Rick, Jeffrey Dahmer, looks like you got some competition there. The reincarnation of Ted Bundy has arrived. Unfortunately, I left my crowbar behind. I'll have to go and get that afterwards. But yeah, it's interesting, some of the observations that people have made with time. But there we go. Blue Owl. I find it very strange that after many years and so much research, there is not even a single trace of Kenny, such as clothes or shoes, backpack, tent, gun, if he had his hat. It's a bit unusual. Larry, kind of what I was thinking too. Yep, Imperial. To be honest, I think the people that said I look like Ted Bundy, I think they need to borrow Jeffrey Dahmer's glasses for a second, and then I'm sure they'll get a reality check, right? Anyway, besides that, mystery coordinates, are they dangerous or not? To a viewer, consumer, they're not dangerous. It's out of interest, mystery, random. It's like you go on TikTok, you look at some videos on YouTube where people have received coordinates, random Nautica, people have received random digits, codes, whatever. You type them in, you search for them, and you see what shows on maps, street view imagery. That's pretty much it. And then if you wish to engage with it further, explore in real life, then that's your own choice. In this circumstance, what people are getting at as for a problem within the Kenny Veach case, people can come in with mystery coordinates, say, go here, has this been checked out? That needs to be checked out, that needs to be explored. Not literally, but maybe hoping for others, hikers, to then go out to those places. But is it a wild goose chase? Could it be a set of coordinates which leads to a trap, or a set of coordinates which leads to a dangerous area where a person goes out unaware, gets injured, killed, hurt, accident, fall, and whose responsibility is it there? Well, realistically, at the end of the day, those that go out there in the first place, their own responsibility, as in their own choices, fully grown adults for most part of it, you think. They go because they want to or they feel the need to. In terms of specific locations by strangers online, I think hikers have common sense not to always just trust in it 100% and then just go along with it. Because there is, to an extent, a level of establishing a connection, establishing a rapport before you even consider taking up someone's offer, taking up someone's suggestions of going on a specific hike, someone directing or coordinating you, a hiker, to go somewhere. I would say hikers have common sense as in what they do, what they can do, what they can't do, what they think's best, what works. Look, sometimes some hikers say to me, are there any areas you want checking out? Are there any areas that you want to be searched? And when that happens, I don't just suddenly rush and say, right, you need to go there and you need to go there. First of all, I'm not in a position to be ordering people about to say where to hike and where not, but people come to me and just ask out of interest, which is much appreciated, but I take it extremely serious. And that's why I take my time just to consider what could be searched, what needs further investigation, if possible, not a demand, not a request, just simply responding back to their question. And some of that could be like Robin's hike, Robin's Canyon, done within reason, map analysis along the way, other areas of interest too. There's a process to it. When it comes to strangers that give out coordinates directly to me or just in general in the chat in hopes someone will follow them up, just a little bit of recon first of all. Let's look at the map. Let's look at the coordinates. Let's see where they are first of all to get an idea of the distance, the likelihood of time it would take, any possible parking locations in between, what's about, what's present, etc. You can do a reconnaissance of it on Google Earth just to get an idea before you actually do go out there or before somebody else becomes influenced by it. So yeah, when Jeff says these coordinates could lead to a hiker being killed, injured, danger, well, yeah. But first of all, I'm sure most of the hikers have common sense and know what to do and have an idea of what's practical and what isn't. And then the middleman, the person in between who sees some coordinates and checks some stuff out, does a bit of a map analysis, like what I've done. so then you or anyone can see the distance, the time, what's visually there. Does anything even stand out? Is it even worth going? Is it even worth checking? You're not going to see everything on Google Earth satellite imagery, but you're going to get an idea. So you do it bit by bit. Let me just catch up with the live chat. Okay, so we got Crisp, Portals to Other Dimensions. Welcome, Crisp. Blue Owl, Kidnapped by Aliens, you never know. And this is the thing, I wouldn't laugh at that, I wouldn't brush it off, I would say, you never know. Just like I'll look at other areas. But there are some humans out there that will accept this or push that, and then they'll just neglect something else, and that's where it becomes a little bit tunnel vision. I've seen that recently, and we'll be addressing that later. We've got Travis. Welcome, Trav. Good afternoon, good evening. Death Riders. Really, Robin was odd. I heard he got off his medication and lost his mind near the end, locals said. So what really Robin said to me via email before he disappeared, because I did a Q&A, Robin said he wanted to leave social media to take a step back. He wanted to be closer to God, religion, because online social media was interfering with his journey. He wanted to get away from it all. However, months, a year plus onwards, there was a time where Robin's best friend or a friend reached out via Instagram, also had a chat with Susan Veach, I believe, and then also reached out to me and said, yeah, Robin is going to make a return and he's going to explain everything. Did that happen? No. But did a Robin account show up? Yes. Was the presence and the behavior different from the original Robin? Absolutely. Did it come across as fake? Yeah. Welcome to the rest of the people that are watching this live stream. If you can, rewind back, and if not, don't worry. We'll go over it bit by bit. Going through a range of different stuff today, from death threats to resistance to misunderstandings by typical humans to the mystery coordinates to mystery footsteps, and Trav present, who's a witness or at least understands that when it came to the mineshaft and the area there, as in what can happen, the eeriness, the uncomfortableness, and I think there's a key pattern possibly to establish from that. I'm not sure if I'm truly correct, but I think maybe Sean Horlaker was walking back that way too. If the footsteps, which have occurred for different hikers, all seem to occur around or near to the mineshaft, that should be something to look into itself. So, little bits and bobs. We've got Driven X Adventures. Welcome, Driven X Adventures. Just as a heads up, if anyone is interested in Driven X Adventures, I believe he has a new video, a live premiere scheduled coming up, so feel free to check that out if you want. Of course, we've got Classy Cult, which is good, the Horse Whisperer, back again, saying, hi Raf, sweetie, hi there. Death Riders, interesting info, you're welcome. Trevor Mains, hi, been watching for a while, thought I'd say hi. That's good to know, Trevor, welcome. It's good that you've been watching. And for everybody else that does watch in the background, much appreciated. Yeah, so the Robin situation, kind of odd. You know, sometimes when people are a certain way, first of all, everything seems fine. A person can seem fine and normal, whether you know much about them or not. And then with time, something changes, their behavior, their attitude. They might become a bit volatile. They might become a bit snappy. They might even become a bit mysterious. They might even push away, pull back, and you don't hear from them as much. They might have a different upload or a different schedule, a different pattern of behavior. They might be a bit more absent or absent-minded, and you think, what's really going on? And then suddenly, it's just completely dead, and they might disappear. It happens a bit too much in this case, from hikers or a hiker to maybe some people online, and then more so to material in the case. That's why, if any of you are watching, if you ever come across anything in the Kenny Veach case, you find anything that's relevant or somewhat links, be sure to take a screenshot. Be sure to save a clip. Be sure to screen record if you got it built into your device, because you never know, it might disappear at some point in the future. Really strange things are going on within this case, and it's not all at once, it's little bits here and there. And speaking of little bits, well, we've got a big bit right now, as in the emojis by Watcher Crazy, a whole row of Raf's chest, and that's not even been updated since, because the chest does look a bit different now. I don't know if I'll do an update of the emojis though. I'll have to try and consider that. Let's just acknowledge anyone else that's present. Family of 6, good afternoon, my friend. Always good to catch y'all live. That's good there. Welcome, family of 6. It's good about your hair. And of course, big shout out to Watcher of Crazy, Watcher of Consistency, Watcher of Loyalty, Watcher of Eyes, Watcher of anything and everything in between, Raf316. Badger Life, oh my God, the crazy is in the house. Badger, you're going to be tunneling underground tonight. You'd be tunneling away, try and get to that mine shaft and give some intel on what's secretly under that mine shaft, if anything. We got Winnie the Pooh. Hopefully you got your pot of honey tonight so you don't get hungry. Welcome, Winnie. Anything else in between? You're welcome, Driven. Badger, I hope you're doing well. EJ, have seen really Robin's video and always thought he was acting God. His walk and then just vanish from YouTube. Very strange. And it's hard to keep up with everything, but let's acknowledge one huge thing in the Kenny Veach case. Really, Robin, in that Q&A email before he disappeared, he said to me he was out there on the 16th, I think it was June, the 16th and the 27th. Robin went out there hiking twice. Robin recorded one hike. What the hell was he doing on his second or first unrecorded hike? Robin's behaviour, to some extent, is like Kenny Veach. Just going out there, just looking about. Maybe dressed a little bit similar, like with the hat at least. Disappearing eventually to some extent. And deciding not to record previous footage from maybe another hike. But what do you think Robin was doing on his unrecorded hike? Now, on the sideline, I think from New Zealand, Andrew Colver ended up saying along the lines of maybe Robin went out there once as reconnaissance to check the canyon, the area out. Was it worth doing? Is it possible? Gave it a little try and then went back out again in the future or in a short space of time and then recorded it. Let's just see the other stuff. Badger Life, if you need healing, you need anything, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll see what Dr. Raf can do. Don't worry, Dr. Raf is still available. Even though I don't have any patients, I don't have any private patients, I've got nothing. Dr. Raf has nothing at this moment in time. But speaking of which, Watcher says, Dr. Raf, I hope you're doing good. Your energy is up today from the last time I saw you. Has Strawberry come back yet? Nope. I've not seen them for about 14 days. Cleo, very interesting, haunting video yesterday and the day before. Appreciate that. Death Riders, wasn't that sword his? So the sword, the concealed bamboo sword, which Scott Natal found at least 2021 onwards. Sometimes I get mixed up with the years. I don't know why, it's probably just because I went onto the Dylan Rounds case in 2022 and there was still coverage on the case of Kenny Veach. 2021 onwards, Scott Natal found the sword and the tent. Robin never went on about it much, unless Death Rider, the alternative Robin account, made the odd cryptic video of the sword, a symbolism. I don't know if it was a katana or wakizashi, a sheathed one. Maybe it was a profile picture, Japanese symbols, text. I think you had a bloody Overwatch character, the video game Overwatch. Is it Hanzo or is it Genji? I don't know. It's a little bit cringy, to be honest with you, starting including that sense. But maybe Death Riders, you're thinking of Robin because Robin, I believe, did the fake, I call it the fake Robin, may have done a video on the sword, but it was Scott Natal who originally found it. We don't know who it belongs to. What else do we have? Badger wants a whipping. Badger says I'm good. I'm not surprised because, to be honest, one tap from that BBW, the big black whip, is enough to satisfy anyone for at least a few years. Even Michaela is like, whoa, whoa, no, I don't need any more. I don't need any more flashbacks. It's good enough. I get that. Yes, he did a video on the video claiming something, but I couldn't remember. Yeah, to be honest, I can't remember either. But this Robin claim, whether he's claiming it's his or it was, or he put it there, it could be considered attention seeking, just like the crystal skull. Jeff Clark indirectly found it, caught it on camera first. Then later this supposed Robin says, I put it there before Jeff Clark got there in 2017. Why'd you plan it out that long in advance and anticipate anyone to go to that mineshaft or even find it? If you're Kenny Veach and you're leaving a trail or clues or something, you're more likely to be putting it there. If the search is done, it goes cold, nothing's found, and then onwards, what would you expect from that? You wouldn't really expect anything else, so why would anyone after that point consider putting something in there? Because then it's like needle in a haystack. Death Riders, where did Sean go? Okay, so bit of a backstory to, people out there. We'll get to it bit by bit. Sean Horlacher started in 2015, did his first hike. Sean did another one in 2016 and caught that reptilian eye, the keyhole cave on camera, etc. And then a few videos on and off in between about the case discussions. 2019, he did his bigger hike, as in going out there to investigate the supposed covered cave, and came back in the dark and heard the footsteps and was followed out. From 2019 onwards, Sean did not go back out there, but he was considering it. He did a GoFundMe or something like that to get a team of 3 to 4 people, but it never reached the goal of, was it $5,000 to $10,000? But then in between, he did live streams about the case, get-togethers. He talked about spirituality, 4D vibrations, reaching a higher transcendency and all of that. He talked about getting an island, and not for that to be interpreted in a dodgy way, but getting an island or a land, a space for everybody to come on in and hang out or something. Don't know what that was all about. Then things got a little bit political with the QAnon and the resurgence of JFK's son or someone coming back from the dead, communicating through Telegram. There was that. Sean was doing those M Cave t-shirts as well. There was a time where I reached out to Sean because I was being threatened and I was getting resistance, and Sean kind of, just at the time, changed in behavior. And I thought, because of the whole community aspect, but turning on someone back, whatever, it's like, oh, did a bit of awareness, bit of resistance as well, just documenting, because I've been screwed in the past in many different ways. I thought, not this time. No, spread awareness, make observations. Probably one of the first times on YouTube where I started documenting changes in behavior by people. It was needed and necessary at the time. And then from there on, it just slowed down. And then Sean did a few videos here and there, live streams, talk about general stuff live, and then references to Kenny Veach, references to the keyhole, references to the reptilians and being followed out, back and forth like that. And then it just really slowed down. And then Sean mentioned about being infiltrated where he lived, or where he was now living at some point. His yoga mat was all shredded outside with claw marks in. There we go, we got the really Robin showing up, so that's going to be interesting. And then Sean mentioned about some biker looking guy in a dump down the dead end road where Sean was living, near to a mine shaft, and said, could you come over and help me with it? And Sean felt it was a trap and eventually decided to back off because he thought he'd be shoved down the mine shaft and assassinated or something. Sean also mentioned about when he was on the way back from somewhere, he believed he saw Kenny Veach homeless on the side of the road, but when at a later time coming back, passing by, didn't see him. It seems a little bit muddled, but it's just from what I can remember, right? It was like, when it came to the political part, the QAnon, the Telegram phase, diversion, not diversion, but shifted away from the Kenny Veach case because of a much bigger problems going on, whether that be in the US or globally. And then after that kind of, well, I don't want to say it in a patronizing way, but calmed down, or things changed the pace. I hope that explains a bit. Death Rider. We got Michaela, you're our boy. We got Trav, I remember that, Wild, there we go. Dale Shackley, it's good about your hair, good to see. Death Rider's something that followed him home, also he claimed. The other thing that Sean talked about was whether it be in his head or his shin. There's like a mark, I believe, on his shin, and it didn't heal, or it stayed there for quite some time. And he was talking about like a microchip being embedded in him, whether that be by aliens, government, or something else out there. And then after that, he ended up having like a weird dream when he was asleep. Michaela says, I'm late. You know what happens when you're late? Anyway. He disappeared also, barely posted videos anymore. Yeah, so Death Riders, about a month or two ago, Sean Horlacher uploaded a video, something to do with Charlie Kirk. Is it Charlie Kirk or something? It wasn't all about that, but it was to do with the themes of what was going on. It was about a 1 hour plus video, but it didn't look like it was a live stream because it was in the section of the YouTube videos, not the live. You know, when I end this live stream, if you go on my channel, you won't find it in the video tab, the shorts tab, you'll find it in the live tab. Sean's video ended up in the video tab, so I don't think it was a live, to my knowledge. But there was a live chat to it, but I couldn't see it. But Sean could in the video. I don't know the actual style and format of that. But in the comments, Sean said we'll be doing this either monthly or weekly. I think it was like, said every Sunday, once a week. Never happened. Things happen, I get that. It just seems like, just in general, it depends how busy people are, but sometimes it makes me think there can be people that say they're going to do this or they're going to do that, and then it ends up not happening, and it happens a bit too much. I'm not talking directly about Kenny Veach case community and YouTubers. I'm just talking about in general in life, based on what I've come across myself with humans with time. It feels like over-promise, under-deliver, and it pisses me off at times, because what I try and do, because I'm aware I don't want to put myself in a situation where it's like, oh shit, the pressure's high, the task is high, I've self-inflicted, sometimes it might have happened, I followed through with it, but it just wasn't practical. I tried to under-promise and then over-deliver. It's kind of a win-win. Keep it basic, keep it simple, do what you can, do your best. And if you can do more or give more, then go from there. But I just see it patterns with people. They're going to do this, going to do that, or they're stepping back from the case, or they're going to go in more, and then it never happens. And sometimes it's repeated behavior, and you think, repeated behavior, repeated disappointment, repeatedly being let down, that can have a psychological influence on other people about. And then they may think the credibility isn't there. Let me just catch up with the comments. We got Keith Payne. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the live stream. You're welcome, Death Riders. Then we've got, how do you say the name? CHR4S2. Chris, I don't know. Welcome. I don't know why I was thinking of Chrissy B, just because of the pink hand, but I'm probably a different person. But welcome, CH. It was a live stream. He uploaded a copy of the stream. Right, okay. It's just because I think the live stream tab on Sean's YouTube channel isn't there unless it's been hidden temporarily. We got Shazza. That's a good name. Welcome, Shazza. Shazam. Welcome if you're here for the first time or if you're coming back. I don't know. I don't know if I've seen. I might be familiar with that profile picture once before. Badger. Kenny had a plan to disappear. He just made a few mistakes he needed help cleaning up. In my opinion, fair enough. Keith, did Kenny have a life insurance policy? Not too sure. Could be. But in terms of it being cashed in or activated, that never happened. And if someone was to benefit from it, you would expect it to have happened by now. I think in the documentary, the Kenny Veach case, the HLN one, Mojave Mystery or Mojave Nightmare, it said that the life insurance wasn't activated or put in. So you could say it's still pending, it's still like on the sideline. We've got Glowbug's Garden. Nice, welcome to the channel. It says, hello, I'm from Washington, USA. Nice. Quick little drink. So yeah, if anyone else is watching or new, joined late, I've got a couple of bullet points which I'll be getting to today, from mystery coordinates to the footsteps situation. Hopefully Travis can share his thoughts on that as well if need be. The mineshaft situation, Really Robin, if Really Robin's still present in the chat right now. Some psychological factors, titles. Dispersed. Interesting. Yeah, Sean constantly says he's going to do something and then it never happens, which sucks because I really liked his content. Yeah, I mean, responsibilities, roadblocks, unexpected stuff going on in the background can happen. I think if things are too hectic, if things are too busy, it's just best just to say it in advance. You know, there's no guarantee this will happen. There's no guarantee that will happen. I mean, on a very small scale, microcosm, when I had issues with internet, when the peasant technology was letting me down, it was embarrassing. I felt like a peasant, felt weak, couldn't get the videos, couldn't get the live streams. And I thought, you know what? Because there is uncertainty, because YouTube is unstable, videos aren't uploading, videos aren't processing, I'm sick and tired of it. I'll just say, the next live premiere or live stream will be at a certain time if all works out, but no guarantee. Just to foreshadow what could happen, what could go wrong, so then people aren't disappointed the same way. Sometimes all it needs is for humans to give a heads up anywhere in life, and not enough humans do that. And if you're not given a heads up, you're not going to be let down easily. You're going to be disappointed. You might be frustrated. And I talk in general when I'm doing these analyses, because I see the depth, I see the issues, I see what can come from it, the causes and effect. Glowbugs, I think Kenny made up the whole thing about the M Cave. So Glowbugs, based on what you think, did you know about the military wanting to take over that land after Kenny Veach disappeared? Creepy coincidence or more to it? Shazza returning after a while, first live in about a year or so. Nice, well, it's good that you've returned back. At this moment in time, I'm locked in with the Kenny Veach case, a lot of different video ideas and stuff to acknowledge. Death Riders, I was in the desert. I had a pill-like object fly 30 foot over my head, going west at about 50 miles per hour. No sound, just 6 lights on the bottom. What if the hum some felt was from the sky and not Area 51 or the cave? So that's a key thing, Death Riders. If you ever come across Jeff Clark, the one with the purple profile picture, whether that be tonight or another time, make sure to tell Jeff Clark that. I mean, to be honest, just give me a second, Death Riders. Let me try and get a screenshot. Apologies, my hands gets in the way. Right. I just got a screenshot of your comment, Death Riders, if I ever make a reference to it, so then I can give you credit based on a personal experience, what you've had. Because Iwu crew experienced possible UFO out there caught on camera, unidentified flying object in the desert, close or kind of close to the situation with Kenny Veach. But what you say, Death Riders, about the hum could be from the sky, the air. If that thing flying by is responsible or something else similar, Jeff in recent time believes the same thing to an extent. So there could be that possibility. Because Jeff said when he felt the vibrations or the zapping, it was like above him or he was stood up and he wasn't in front of a cave. But Kenny Veach was. It's easier to associate a sound, a feeling, a sensation with something you're familiar with or something that's directly in front of you, the first thing that you see, the first thing that you hear, the first impression that you get, you try to justify it or try to link it to the first thing that you see. You hear a buzz, oh, it must be from that cave. You hear a whistle, oh, it must be from the mine shaft, whatever it might be. If you're in the middle of nowhere or it's quite open and there's nothing really to link it to, where else do you look? The sky, up there. But you might not consider the sky if you weren't aware of anything above you. But like Death Riders, with you witnessing something flying over you, pill shape, whatever, 50 miles per hour, you see it. Did you say you felt anything? What if the humming, the sound of it in some way, the sensations of it? But because I guess Kenny Veach wasn't looking at the sky when it may have happened, he wouldn't have associated it with the sky. If Kenny Veach was looking up at the time and he also noticed a possible flying object, he could have linked it. Glowbug's garden, really? That changes my mind. Yeah. So just as a quick little heads up, Glowbugs, just about a year or under after Kenny's disappearance, the military wanted to take over all of that land, the whole area where Kenny did his hike route. The military wanted it so then no one would have access, to make it private, taking over. They didn't get what they wanted. They tried again, but they reduced the amount of land that they wanted, but it still would have been over or close to the hiking area, like the hotspot where the selection of caves are. So it caught the interest of the military, the timing of it with when Kenny said he was going to go out there and what he believed he found was a cave vibrations. It's very interesting. We got Linda. Welcome, Linda. Late, no problem. It's okay. If there's any noise in the background, that's not me. It's just fireworks outside. Not much you can do about that. Death Riders, that could explain the phantom steps, and Sean posted videos about the sounds of something crawling on his house. Glowbugs, my late husband retired military, so I have some sense about it. If the military was involved, they wouldn't let anything or anyone get in their way. I didn't feel anything though. Fair enough. And that's the thing when hikers or people go out there or anywhere, what one person may see, another person may feel in a different way. What one hiker may hear, another hiker may sense, as in perception or smell or touch, sensations. What one hiker may document on camera could be an innocent looking natural cave, then what another hiker notices in the same place at a different time is a cave which has some kind of like glowing eyes within or weird movement shadows in the background. Some stuff is permanent out there, other things are temporary, and it's the temporary factors and variables that need to be looked at. The stuff that isn't always there but comes and goes could be the mysterious things which Kenny may have encountered. And even on a natural level, as in just dangerous wildlife, a mountain line isn't going to be in one spot all the time. So all the hikers that come on through may not see it, but then at the wrong place, wrong time, one may. So, anything else? I'm near an underground base. I figured the craft I saw was from there. Interesting. Dale, being so close to military installations, it wouldn't surprise me at all. The vibrations came from above like a drone. And as for the Kenny Veach hike route, nearby, more so west, over public land, though I think there was a drone, maybe military, caught on camera in 2019. I could always do a separate video about that at some point. As for like the military, the alien stuff, maybe I've not gone into it deep enough, but it comes with time, and depending what material is about, sometimes it's more storytelling and based off witness accounts and that, but there will be a place and time for it, of course. But I just want to tie up things with the whole mystery coordinates, right? People come and go with coordinates, suggestions and ideas. They post it in the comment section or live chats, whatever. I do a map analysis of it to determine the worth and the value of it, and then hikers then can make the decision whether they need to go out there or not. They ultimately have the final say because they're the ones that go out, or anyone else in between. Coordinates can be harmful if you follow them and it leads you into danger, but if you're cautious, you don't have to follow through these locations. You can take it into mind or into consideration if it's too far out or it looks too unrealistic. You don't have to do it. There shouldn't be any pressure. And maybe for Kenny Veach, there was pressure to some extent. There was a bit of peer pressure. There doesn't have to be now. Do it when possible. Nothing is forced. All of it is down to if you want and based on interest. The case has gone on long enough already. The fact that the general public and hikers, YouTubers, etc., have in some ways put in more effort than the original search and rescue, and maybe even the family as well, based on observations. I think the general public have done more than enough already, and then you just go from there. I think looking at these mystery coordinates are interesting because, you know, some people that say it's not worth it or it's dangerous or it's not practical, some of them are the same people that listened to Gene Lukowski and bowed down to him and thought, oh, this is very interesting. Let's not get the double standards there. If one thing's allowed, the other stuff should be allowed too. Map analysis determine the worth of it, the practicality of it, the distance and the time, and then that's it, all under control. So Jeff Clark, it's all under control. Coordinates can be looked at, they don't always have to be followed through with. Now, moving on to the next point, which is to do with the mystery footsteps. I think the biggest mystery is how the fuck do I manage to get this piece of paper to stand up by itself? It keeps flopping about more than my inflatable banana beside me. I'm still trying to figure that out. Dale, and if it was a military drone that would fit in and wanting to take over the area. Dispersed, do you ever plan on going to the area yourself? Would be an awesome video to see you out there with SB or so. To be honest, I think when it comes to locals and hikers already out there, I've never really seen a collab because either the timing or the practicalities of it, people tend to go solo, looking out for themselves. It's easier, so they're not slowed down. Based on me not acclimatized to the area or even the environment, I don't know if it's practical or safe to be doing that. In fairness, Deaf Riders, and to be honest, it depends to what point you go in the case, because it might have not happened just yet, but let's just say it got to a point where if the cave didn't exist or it's completely unknown of and everything's been checked, but Kenny Veach did disappear at the mine shaft because his scent ended there, if he was abducted, if he was taken away, if he did go out there, you can't really be searching for Kenny because if he's just not there, he's not there. The only other thing you would be doing is going there to maybe check for alien life and all that technology, setting up cameras, motion lights, detectors and all that. And I think that would require more of a crew or something. And who knows what it could come to. We got Marlena, how you say your name, Marlena, hello from SoCal, is that California? Welcome to the channel, the live stream, that's good. Kenny invited others on his hike. I wanted to go, but I couldn't because of work. Fair enough. How things may be different if someone did go with Kenny. The thing is, let's just say if someone wanted to go with Kenny at the time, how would it have been organised? Did Kenny provide social media links to here's a private DM, message me over here if you're interested? Did Kenny Veach do that or not? Because I'm sure there would have been fake people and fake ones that say, sure, I'm in for it, yeah, let's do it, and it doesn't happen. Would Kenny have actually followed up on it himself? See, the unfortunate thing is, Deaf Riders, is Kenny's comment and that whole thread on that other channel was all gone, removed, deleted. I don't know if anyone's got the screenshots or the archives because, you know, Kenny's comment of, you know, if anyone wants to come with me, then feel free to reach out. I don't mind. I wish that screenshot, you know, of Kenny saying that was still present right now because it's really important that I can say it in my words, Deaf Riders can say it in his words because we are witnesses to seeing it ourselves and we know the truth there. But unfortunately, when you're trying to convince the masses, the general public about it, it's understandable why people may not listen or believe in it the same way, because they can't see it themselves. And unfortunately, I don't have the screenshots unless it's archived on old news articles, web pages, which show the screenshots. But it's unfortunate. There's some comments by Kenny Veach which are really super important, but they've been deleted. And that's what's so annoying. I mean, my memory can be good, but I do understand other people want the same shared experience of being able to see it with their own eyes. AZ, it was a video I saw that invited others out. Really? So you're saying, Deaf Riders, that Kenny Veach, before heading out on his final hike, he uploaded a YouTube video asking people if they want to come with him. See, the way I saw it, from my experience, Kenny Veach left it in the comment section, Fred, I believe, a son of an Area 51 technician, and mentioned about, I'm heading back out, if anyone wants to come with me, feel free. But if Kenny did a video, well, that's even more interesting. This was his second hike back. He invited others out via video. I guess that's not available anymore. Was that taken down? Marlena, is it possible that Kenny went past Sheep Mountain Range? Went past it as in what, north? If he had continued north, practically he probably could only go so far north until he got tired, exhausted, to come to the environment. The fact that Kenny Veach did his, north, based on what Jeff Clark has suggested, the practicalities of it, and my own analysis of Kenny Veach's hike loop back, once Kenny got over Wild Horse Pass, yes, Marlena, Kenny could go north, but how many miles practically? 4, 5, pushing it 6 miles, and that's about it. When Kenny Veach, in his October hike video, when he returned back to his vehicle in the unreleased footage, which was later provided by the girlfriend in 2021 onwards, Kenny Veach was exhausted from doing the hike loop, the M Cave hike, Little Jermay Canyon, north, Wild Horse Pass, then going west down Pitcher Canyon, and then south back to the vehicle. He was knackered, exhausted, and that was a total of 3 to 4 miles back from coming out of Pitcher Canyon or so, or just a bit before, and getting back. So if Kenny Veach can cover 3 to 4 miles back to his vehicle, he could have covered the 3 to 4 miles just going north, but I don't think he would have gone any further. And if he did, I don't think he would have returned back because of the total distance. The issue with the scent ending at the mine shaft would imply that Kenny didn't even go over Wild Horse Pass, didn't even go north anymore past that point, which is mysterious. I know Driven did leave a comment just before saying Kenny circled back. You mean double backed, as in going up to the mine shaft, stopping, doing whatever, turning back, and then being picked up. Is that what you mean, Driven? It was a video I saw that invited others out. Interesting. Marlena, did we ever find out which mine shaft his phone and keys were found by? Nope, not yet. Red Rock Search and Rescue appeared to remain very tight-lipped. Supposedly Sean Horlecker reached out, and the only answer he got was that the phone was found and it was charged. But was the phone found charged already? Or was the phone found and then it was charged up after to check for information, evidence? Depends how you interpret it. Welcome to the 60 people that are watching and anyone else in the background to this live stream. A lot of strange activity in the Kenny Veach case, a lot of recent discussions and findings and links and interlinks and death threats as well. What I do want to get on to, how are we for time? Oh my God, it's going a bit quick, isn't it? The mystery footsteps, the phantom footsteps. Now, I don't know if Travis Neighbours, recent hiker, is still watching right now, but Travis in recent time hiked out there to the mine shaft 3 to 4 hours on foot heading north, and even he acknowledged the eeriness of either phantom footsteps or the possibility of them. I don't know if Travis directly heard them himself, but he definitely understood, you know, the concept of it. SB has experienced it. Jay Chuck has experienced it. Sean Horlacher, Scott Natal. That's a range of hikers, right? Different types of hikers of different ages. And, you know, not to single anyone out, but, you know, the ones with a level head who don't jump to conclusions, even they have said about hearing the footsteps or acknowledging the phantom footsteps. And it's individual experiences. You know, Travis Neighbours is a good example of a newer hiker. I don't know, new to the case, but just coming on in recent time, not as influenced with all the background knowledge and research, which is a good thing. What I'm getting at is there are times and moments in life where individuals and separate people can experience or talk about the same thing individually without any interference or overlapping influences or the researcher effect influence, where it's all kept natural. But if one person's influenced by another person, like one person looks at some footage and says, I can hear some whispers and it sounds like it's saying this word or this line, and then someone that didn't even hear it in the first place now starts hearing that word, that line, and what it specifically said because they've been influenced by that first person that said what they believed they could hear. It's like an influencer effect where you start feeling or sensing what another person has felt or sensed, but you're not doing it naturally firsthand. You're under the influence of somebody else. So if you've got hikers that go out there individually, not influenced by one another, there's no anticipation. And if you're not anticipating it, you're not expecting it. Sometimes when you anticipate something, you can create that image, you can create that sensation, you can create that experience, but sometimes it might just be in the head, like a psychological effect, the psychological influence of others and their experiences. And then you start feeling it, you start seeing it, but it's not true to yourself, or it's not like real, if that makes sense. But these hikers have experienced individual strange encounters out there, and there's a bit of a pattern going on, and more so the area where it's taking place, which is interesting. You get these hotspot areas, and the mine shaft is one of them. Let's just catch up. Must be the weather. Acoustics. Weren't the footsteps heard in one of Kenny's videos? In fairness, it appeared to be the case. Some have suggested it might have been his hiking poles. Do I remember seeing his hiking poles in his video? No. I know he's got his tripod. His hiking poles were found by the side of his vehicle when he got back, you know, in that unreleased footage. But I don't remember seeing him using the hiking poles. But if he was using them, those extra steps could have come from that. But it did sound like a few extra steps when he was slowing down walking. However, that was over Wild Horse Pass when going down Pitcher Canyon, the earlier part of Pitcher Canyon. As for the other hikers, I believed it's mainly happened around or near to the mine shaft. I will have to double check that and reach out to some people here and there just to confirm it, because if these footsteps can be heard in one particular area, don't you think there is a bit of a weird pattern going on there? If lots of strange things happen in one particular area, I'm not saying it's the case, okay? If you want to talk about paranormal, you want to talk about it being haunted or a spirit out there. If Kenny Veach did die in some way, is his spirit out there in the desert? Is that what those footsteps are? Or it could be of another hiker in the past, or some mining individual. There was an accident out there and it's haunted the area. Or if it's got anything to do with Indians, burial grounds, burning pits. I don't know, something like haunted out there. You hear these footsteps in a particular area, because it just so happens that where there's a mine shaft, there is an agave burn pit. Where there's that other mine shaft which SB came across, there's an agave burn pit. So I'm thinking there's some patterns going on with the footsteps, with the hikers near a mine shaft or the mine shaft. Did Kenny Veach hear the same? Did you get more experience than what others? Marlena, gotta run. Have a great day. You too. Yes, the mind is powerful, and that's what the crazy thing is, Death Riders. Just in general, in total, the human body can be the most resilient thing on this earth, but it can also be the most fragile. One extreme to another. You're supposed to be brought into this world that your body and mind is all in one or something, but at times the mind goes against you, which seems pretty messed up. Why should the mind go against you? Why should it like be a mutiny against your body? It's stupid at times. Weird things happen. And external influences as well. Right, let's just catch up. Like the game, pass it on. EJ Ball, sounds like the land is haunted. I've heard stories about land that's haunted and strange things happen. You never know, EJ, that could be the case. What if the hiking area, the mineshaft radius, is haunted by something, whether it links to Kenny or not? Marlena says, I will be hiking there beginning November 10th with a few friends. I will let you know what we find. If anything, definitely will be recording everything on video and pics. Well, that sounds good. Obviously, take care and just do what you can. No rush, no pressure. Just do what you can. The craft I saw came from a canyon type area, just like Kenny's area. Okay. Interesting patterns indeed. We can only see a small spectrum of light. It's possible there are things around we can't see, hence the footfall. And it's like, look, some hikers, Scott Natal, Sean Hall, like experienced the footsteps in the dark. J Chuck, SB, maybe Travis, I'm not too certain on him, experienced it in the daylight. So there's a crossover between dark and light, but what goes on in the dark, more might be occurring which you can't see, maybe. All I ever think is poor Kenny, only he knows, I guess. But yeah, as for this whole talk about mystery footsteps, there's been counterpoints by the general public here and there saying, oh, it's just paranoia kicking in. It's just people's minds playing tricks with them. It's just some people just going too far, being overly emotional or something. But look, this is the reality. When it comes to this case, when it comes to being out there, even the most level-headed of people, once they get a touch, a taste, an experience, even they acknowledge it. So there's definitely something. Glowbug's got to go. Have a blessed day. You two take care. So when you get a variety of different people, different age ranges, different mindsets, and they all say the same thing about footsteps and weird activity out there, and if it's in a particular area, there might be more to it, right? Badger life, good night all. Take care, Badger. The reference of wildlife, right? Mountain lions, predators, stalking you when out there, daylight or night. Could always be a possibility. And no, SB Vegas Adventure said one time he was out there hiking, camping, and at night he heard raw sounds, didn't know what it was. Raw sounds could be anything. It can sound worse than what it actually is when it's in the dark and when it's quiet, of course. But still, it's interesting how, you know, out of all the hikers that have been out there, you know, the public documented ones, I think to my knowledge, not a single hiker has actually caught on camera a mountain lion or came face to face with one, which is obviously a good thing, but still, it's interesting. You would have thought by now there would have been an encounter, but at the same time you would hope not, because it would end messy. There was more sighting of a mountain lion closer to Las Vegas or within Las Vegas, the time of when Atari was living there, wherever in Las Vegas. And because of either there wasn't enough food or there was no water, the mountain lions came closer to the city, the area of Las Vegas, to look for food or water, and it put other people in danger. Speculation, that's all we've got. I think during the times of silence or uncertainty, use a little bit of common sense, use some theories and ideas, even if people want to, you know, downplay them, even if people want to discredit them, even when people want to ridicule them, you've got a thought, you've got a theory, no harm. That's all it is. It can't cause much harm if it's just an idea or an opinion. And then with research, or if material comes about, then you could get a hold of hard evidence or material which may back the point up, and then you just go from there. It's exactly what I've done in the true crime cases. It can work. The other humans that showed the resistance against you, you just, put that aside. We've got Criminal Med. Welcome back. It's good you're here, able to make it. So, what's the next point? So, fake Robin return. The supposed return of really Robin. Gut feeling. Gut feeling do live-o. Ooh. Death Riders. That might apply to me. It might be the same thing, but I like to separate it. Instinct from gut feeling. For me, I feel that gut feeling, for me, doesn't always work. Can make me worse off. I might be different though. I think gut feeling for me doesn't always work. But instinct, which I treat as a separate thing, can work. It's very strict. I may not always use it, but when I do use it, it's very strict. I remember that time my instinct kicked in when I came across a full-on psychopath, and they were the ones on their knees begging and pleading, and I did not fall for it. Anyway, this return of really Robin, this is one of the pieces of updates within the Kenny Veach Case M Cave mystery. In recent time, when doing an analysis of really Robin, the winged creature, the changes in behavior by him, how there was that second or first unrecorded hike by Robin, which he went out and did, but did not record. Why? Could it have been his second hike? He went out there, did not record it, or he did record it, but he didn't upload it afterwards because he saw something he wasn't supposed to. He was scared, and that's why he did alternative video trying to solve the case and saying, this is what happened, this is how Kenny Veach disappeared, a winged creature, Batman-like figure, descended and took him away or harmed him, and he got killed, and anyone else that goes out there will be killed, so don't go out there, as Robin said, looked terrified, and then after disappeared, removed comments, deleted his videos, deleted his channel, and that was it. And now in recent time, this other Robin has come about and has returned once again just recently. And basically what the alternative Robin account said a few days ago during the live premiere, in quotes, said, "Ref, I told you about the mineshaft, but you didn't want to listen." If I didn't want to listen, then how can one remember what was said originally? Language with humans, it doesn't surprise me. A brief little rundown with this Robin account. So when they returned back, let's put it that way, supposedly, I still think it's fake, mentioned about considering returning back to the mineshaft to document it, to show the secret tunnel ways, the entrance ways, whether it's blocked or not, but to show it and to demonstrate. That's what Robin was going to do. Sent me an email informing me what he was going to do, where he was going to go, and if he doesn't respond back or reply, it's likely he's been pushed down the mineshaft or killed off. And what happened? He didn't respond back. But then what did happen next? Through the same email account, the person acting or pretending to be really Robin's father said to me, "We're sorry to inform you, but Robin had an accident out there. He was either pushed off a mountain or pushed off a mineshaft, and now he's recovering in hospital. He might take some time to respond back." A get out of jail card. Before it's even happened, you give a specific outcome that, yes, I'm going to go out there, but if I don't respond back, if I do go silent on you, it's because I've been pushed off a mountain. Well, that's convenient. It's as if it was like set up in place to begin with before it's even happened, like a get out of jail card. You say you're going to do something, you say you're going to go out somewhere, and it just doesn't happen. But you can't get criticised because you said, if I don't respond back, it's because I was out there and I got hurt, I got injured, I got taken out. So the sympathy card is going to play. People put it in place as like a buffer, a temporary leniency card. Like what we were talking about earlier, when people say they're going to do this and then they're going to do that and then they don't end up doing it, there's no explanation, you're left in the dark, and that's it, game over. You can be disappointed, you can be frustrated, you can be pissed off, and then there's backlash on that person that overpromised, under-delivered. With this Robin account, they promised within reason, they under-delivered immensely, but they already backed it up before even supposedly going out there by saying, well, you know, if anything does happen, if there's a level of silence, it's because I've been silenced. It's because I've been hurt. Convenient how that's what ends up happening as it's claimed. And look, this is the thing. You know why I am cautious? Because when you get this individual under the same account, and the father is claiming to be the father of Robin, stating what happened under the Robin's email account, I'm going to be cautious of that, because back in the past, even when I was younger, right? How old was I? 13 or 14 years of age? 14 or 15, and I was friends with somebody on Xbox Live, which is a console. They were from the US, but they were German, head shoved right up their arse, thinking they're so superior. But besides that, in their cocky sounding accent, this German individual ended up going quiet or so, and then their friends got a hold of the person's account and then typed up a long message pretending to be the parents of that person, saying, "We're sorry to inform you, Warlike Raph, but your friend has passed away in a biking accident," giving a time, a date, and what happened. So I'm being told by the person's friends to me that the person that I knew of has died and passed away. And then what happens a day or two later? That friend responds back and says, "Oh, sorry, what are you on about?" And I say, "I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry to hear that." And then the person responds back saying, "Wait, what are you sorry for? Who's died?" And I'm thinking, well, I thought you died. It's been said that you died in a biking accident. Now it's been lied to. This is a psychological warfare which incompetent humans and prats out there try to do to me. So no wonder why I've got a shorter fuse now. No wonder why I can be very strict when it comes to not trusting humans out there. When there's so much manipulation, incompetence, piss poor peasant-like piss pot communication, etc., it still happens till this day. At times I'm still led to believe that someone's dead. Something's happened because there's no communication. I'll give you another example. There was a time in the past where I knew someone from South Africa. They mentioned about they were going to communicate, they were going to stay in contact, exchange emails, and guess what happened? They disappeared. 10 months of silence. Was it just some stranger? No, it was a good friend. So a person who I was friends with, got on well with, decided to just disappear for 10 months, didn't even bother to create an alternative email because their excuse was, "Oh, sorry, I forgot my login details." You lazy bitch. Create a new email account. Create a new, forget your password and enter it in. Lazy bastard. Incompetent, inconsiderate twat. That's what humans do to me after all that. So when they did return back, and they went from South Africa to now living 20 minutes away from me, and I'm thinking, is this like a ghost from the past? The way people just disappear, the way people just piss off and then reappear once again and expect the red carpet treatment, expect like nothing happened. "Oh, sorry, I've been missing for 10 months. What was I supposed to think? What was I supposed to expect? This is what I mean. This is how it translates into YouTube, how it translates into true crime, how it translates into the mysteries for the positive reasons. What's happened in the background, very negative, which I've encountered, but how I apply it or the side effects to me are applied in a more positive way in terms of these cases within reason, right? I know people could say, well, if you overthink Warlike Raph, is that healthy in a case? Does it mean you'll go off track? Well, it's about multiple perspectives, taking it into consideration, because I don't want to miss out anything. And then we can dial it back in the future and be more realistic when there's material to work with or to debunk. But, You can't blame someone for overthinking, or if that's just the way they are in life. And then if they're treated and left in the dark over and over again, like how I've encountered, no wonder why I overthink. No wonder why I think the worst case scenarios. No wonder why I pick up on multiple perspectives, because I'm left with no answers. So what else am I supposed to do? What are you supposed to do during moments of silence? All you can do is just think and try and figure out what is going on, whether you're thinking rationally or irrationally. So what can happen? It can come down to the other person or group to step the fuck up, to make it clear, to explain. It doesn't require much effort, and yet they don't bother. So it is an indication that they just don't care. And you may have experienced it as well. So this is where it translates into the psychological breakdown 3.0 of Warlike Wrath, that because there's multiple perspective now, because from 2020 of when I covered the Kenny Veach case up to a certain point in 2021, it was what it was. But then from 2021 with what happened then, and a little bit in between onwards and present time, that is why, you know, the mind has adapted and evolved, not always for the right reasons, but then in other ways it has complemented the cases too. So if anyone wanted to know, oh, is Warlike Wrath going too deep into some areas or going off topic or reaching out too far? Sometimes you could argue it's side effects from everything that's happened with time, but then in other ways it's about expanding and going further and deeper. And just know, it doesn't mean tunnel vision, it doesn't mean drifting away for good, because eventually you can come full circle and then see it in a stronger light. It's only like the reptilian eye from making the observation to then later a few months trying to debunk it because of a level of progression made there naturally. All under control eventually. But you know what's not under control? The other cretins out there that don't explain themselves with their shit communication, shit wording and language. And yet, when I come across, you know, people in the live chat or the live premiere, like for example now, people are clear, people respond back, people use keywording, and that's really good, that. But my personal encounters, it's not the same, unfortunately, with time. It's disappointing. Let me just catch up with the comments. Apologies about that. I will get there. Anna has only one passport. That's an interesting username. Welcome, Anna. First time here, but I followed the case. Nice. How long have you followed the case for, Anna? When was the first time you heard about the case? Death Riders, Robin interviewed locals also about the flying demon thing. Is that prison guard guy that was actually friends with Sean Horlacker? And Sean was like, how do you know him? Michaela, I would sheet my pants if I was out there at night. Fair enough. Just make sure you got an extra pair at least. Dale, Robin was either truly terrified by something he experienced or he is an incredible actor. You could at least say maybe he's an incredible endurance hiker in some way because of the canyon that he chose on his first hike maybe, or his second hike was a challenge depending which way he entered it, as like SB suggested. Death Riders, if you look up Big Sandy Shooting Range, it's a yearly event here in Arizona, and that's military-owned land. That is where the underground base is. Fair enough. No Man's Land, welcome. What is it with all these people showing up with these interesting usernames and profile pictures? They're probably more interesting than my profile picture, to be honest. I don't know what the logo is, but it looks good. So you got No Man's Land, actor, 100% true facts, Death Riders, 100% true. Nice, good. Elizabeth, love your passion. Seems like you're a good friend. They don't deserve you. I appreciate that, Elizabeth. Something about this whole case. Oh, we got Lena Howery, if that's how you say the name. Lena, is that a profile picture of a brain or a rose? Whatever it is, it looks visually good. I really like and appreciate your channel. That's good to know, Lena. Welcome. It's good about your hair. Death Riders, Raf, did you know Kenny's daughter did an interview on camera? Is that to do with the HLN documentary? Or is this something else? Kenny Veach. Which interview was it? And is it accessible? Is it on YouTube, a news article? That'd be interesting to look at some point. Michaela, are you still on Xbox Live? Technically, yes. but I don't use it because I'm on PC. Are you on Xbox, Michaela? Lena, I just started reading about Kenny recently and your channel is awesome. That's good to know, I appreciate that. I'm glad you like the channel. Just as a heads up, Lena, if you need any guidance or additional research, I've got a Kenny Veach playlist of 500 plus videos. Then I've got some smaller playlist of articles on Kenny Veach, and then a separate, more focused, more deeper playlist on the Kenny Veach M case files and hiker case files on individual people or experiences out there. Death Riders, just realised I've never subbed, so I took care of that. Love your work. Appreciate that. That's appreciated. It was about him disappearing and her thoughts about it. Not sure if it's still around then. I've never seen it before. All I know is Vicky Veach in a text conversation or on Facebook Messenger when screenshots were shown by Susan Veach, sister-in-law to Kenny Veach at the time in the past. And Vicky Veach's original reaction to the supposed CCTV footage 2018 Reiki healing store break-in in Las Vegas, store owned by the sister of Kenny, Debbie Veach. And it looked like Kenny. And Vicky Veach original reaction was, oh my God, that's my dad, that's my father. I can't believe it. And said something about, I don't want him to get in trouble. I don't want him to get arrested. And then later did a U-turn and said, no, that's not Kenny Veach. It can't be him. Did she do a U-turn because she just didn't want to accept it? Because if she did, then Kenny could be in trouble. And because being the daughter, you wouldn't want your father to get in trouble. It's weird, isn't it? Lena, yes, thank you. Just started reading about him 2 days ago. I've watched 2 of your videos and was hooked. That's great. That's good. She didn't seem that concerned about it, though. It was a strange video. She basically said he wanted to disappear. I wish I saw that video. I've never seen it myself. I don't know if it's that interesting, Death Riders, but I did do a video in the past. I don't think they live there anymore, which is in a way a good thing, within reason, you know, so people don't do anything in real life. But Death Riders, I did a video in which Kenny Veach's vehicle post-disappearance at some point 2015 onwards, I think, Kenny Veach's vehicle was caught on camera, parked outside, originally Vicky Veach's house. So that's interesting. Right, what else do we have? So we talked about the mystery coordinates, we talked about the mystery footsteps, the presence of really Robin's return, and the mention of the mineshaft. I told you about the mineshaft, but you didn't want to listen. Clearly I listened because I recounted it all based on my memory of what Robin was going to do. And additionally, which I didn't mention, really Robin, or well, the fake Robin, also mentioned about putting a pen drive in the mineshaft. So if people want to talk about, oh, mystery coordinates are such a bad thing and mysterious and dangerous, what about a bloody individual deciding to go out there 3 to 4 hours just to dump a supposed pen drive in the mineshaft, whether it did happen or not? Likely it didn't happen, but to even consider that, to then encourage people to go out there and fetch it, if it was of any importance, that pen drive, if it held the truth, knowledge and learning, just hand it over then. But no, you're going to go out of your way, put it in a dangerous place, put it in a mineshaft, and then get someone to go and fetch it like a good dog. Really? Seems a bit childish, that. Yeah, it adds a bit of mystery. But just for the sake of a pen drive, when it could just be handed over, it could be sent by email, a photo, a screenshot, but no, you got to go out and physically get it. It's like bloody random Nautica gone dodgy. Michaela, yes, but that's not so good anymore. The selection in the store is a disaster. As one way to put it, Michaela. Disaster. Well, you still got Mr. Morgan, haven't you? And then the impersonator myself. But yeah, I mean, at the moment, Michaela, because I'm on PC, the game that I'm playing is Battlefield 6. For once, it actually feels like I'm playing a proper game, which I would have played back in 2013, which is something that I really needed after many years of not being able to play proper games, especially with performance issues, especially with crashes and all that rubbish and the tryhards and all of that. So yeah, I've uploaded some clips, but I mainly do that on TikTok. It's mainly going well, the gunplay's good, the visuals, the explosions, the way the buildings collapse, the fibers, the woods, how it splinters about, running down a hallway, left and right explosions. The PC manages to keep up with it, which is a positive because I wouldn't expect it. There was a time, Michaela, when I think I was playing Gears of War on PC crossover with Xbox because of Xbox Live or something. Was there Forza? I don't think there was Forza because there's some games that you could buy or once bought on Xbox, which then you could cross over onto PC, but they were a bit tight about it. It didn't always work. And the only good thing is with PC over Xbox or PlayStation is you don't have to pay for the additional online access. Death Riders, did that video of the Sedona store getting broke into for the iPad prove it was Kenny? The healing store in 2018, did it prove it was Kenny? Well, as I worded, not much more came out of it, though there was another break-in in 2024, I think, of the same healing store, but more was damaged or broke or stolen. $50,000 worth of stuff, I think. Some were saying, is that Kenny Veach again? I wouldn't say so. One time, more than enough. Second time, very unlikely, in my opinion. I came to the conclusion that, you know, it was material to suggest he's still alive or up to a certain point. And then the other thing, Death Riders, and just as a little heads up to Lena, because they're new. Was it in 2022 I did the video? 2022, around 17th of November or so, Susan Veach, sister-in-law to Kenny Veach, received a missed phone call through Facebook Messenger under Kenny's Facebook account. Then shortly afterwards, when Susan tried ringing back, no answer. And then when she tried ringing back again, it said, sorry, this user doesn't have Messenger installed, so you can't contact them, but you sent an invitation or a push notification for them to do it. When it says this person no longer has it, it means that it's been uninstalled. A missing person since 2014 and their Facebook account decides to call a relative family member, and then after that then decides to manually uninstall the app from that same account or device. A little bit weird. Death Riders, I saw the police report, but anything ever come about it? The police reported the break-in? Not that I know of. Sorry, man, for the questions. It's all good. You ask as many questions as you want. The only thing that I remember is that when it came to the healing store and the mention of possibly following up on fingerprints, whether it be what the police said or more so what the store owner said, one or the other had said there's no point following up with fingerprints because too many customers have come and gone in between. Since when? If the customers are earlier in the day, the break-in is at night time, and then in the morning, the police are called. No one has come since. There's not been any additional cross-contamination. And furthermore, I mean, it's bollocks when they say, oh, there's been too many people at the desk, too many customers coming on by to do fingerprints. Let's not forget, this individual that went into that store walked all the way round the back to the desk, bent down and grabbed that drawer handle to try and open it. They knew exactly where they were going and what they wanted, or it could come across that way. They touched the drawer, the doorknob, the handle of the drawer behind the desk. Do customers touch that? Do they have access to that? No. So they could have at least tested the fingerprints for that. And you know the one thing that stands out to me, which not enough people seem to mention, there was an iPad left in the store. And not just that, the iPad was left on. And not just that, the iPad was on charge. So you've got well, not an abandoned, but you've got a shop which is closed up for the night. Everything should all be turned off and whatnot, except for the cameras and security. And you've got an iPad on charge, being charged up in an unattended shop, in which it could overheat, in which the battery could explode, in which there could be a fire or something. Oh, never mind. Or was it purposely put there, left on charge, purposely left turned on, so that if Kenny was the one to come on in, there's the item for him. But maybe he didn't know or wasn't thinking that's where the iPad was. He went behind the desk to open the drawer in hopes that the iPad was there. Wasn't there. Came back round and thought, shit, what now? But then noticed the iPad. Or maybe remembered it from when he first came in and said, there it is, I'll grab that. Some have interpreted it as, well, maybe Kenny Veach grabbed the iPad as a afterthought, a second thought. It wasn't the primary goal. It wasn't what he really wanted or whoever, but it will do. You got a healing store full of crystals, full of different kinds of valuables. But the person that broke in directly went to the desk. But the desk, the drawer, it wasn't like, what do you call it, a cashier till, where you press all the buttons, beep, beep, and then it opens and all the money's in there. No, they went to an actual like desk drawer. Would you expect money to be in there or something else? Just catching up. Michaela, thumbs up cowboy. Yeah, so look, this is a thing, Michaela, if you're ever loading up Red Dead Redemption, if the disc breaks, if the game doesn't load anymore, if your Xbox blows up into thin air or something, don't worry, I'll be Mr. Morgan. I've got it all under control with that voice. What's the longest I've done it for? About 58 minutes long, once before. So if that's a certain play session, 58 minutes, yeah, I can do that voice for. Death Riders, iPads can be traced also. That information on the fingerprints, I didn't know. Crazy. They gave up too soon. You had fingerprints. You could have followed up on it. And what did they say? No, it's not really worth it. It's not practical. Giving up too soon? Well, isn't that a similarity to the search for Kenny Veach? Giving up too soon. No public appeals. No press conference from the family. Giving up too soon. I don't want to jump in too harsh there because people deal with things differently and deal with it privately. Just based on an overt non-participant observation compared to other cases and noise, it seemed rather quiet. So I had to make that clear. For context, I started watching Kenny when he was trying to sell himself with his house. Oh yeah. Dale, in your opinion, what would be the purpose of leaving the iPad there for Kenny to find? If the iPad had anything of use on it, any details, any notes, any photos, any videos, anything social media related, an alternative account to access, a form of communication. I wouldn't say so much to sell, but if the iPad had documents, photos, files, whether it links to the hike, M Cave or something completely different. I guess the only thing you could argue and say, is the iPad a store item? Is it a personal item that was left there? See, look, this is the other thing you got to look at. Whether you believe it was Kenny Veach or not, when it occurred, the store owner, the sister, Debbie Veach, turned it into a business strategy. Their claim was, when the store was broken in, the glass was broken, the atmosphere was disturbed. You saw all the dust particles flying in and buzzing about all those, all those little white orbs. It was dust particles. And with the airflow of the window being broken and open, even more disturbance to within the room. So it filled with dust and all of that. Debbie Veach claimed, oh, that was the crystals. That was the in-shop items cleansing all the bad juju, as she called it, cleaning all and cleansing all the bad energy. Really? I mean, it's smart thinking on the spot. Did it lead to a sale boost, a rise in product selling? I don't know. I don't know about the statistics there, but it wouldn't surprise me. You could just say it's a person turning a negative moment into a positive moment. You could also say it's a form of manipulation, a certain tactic and strategy, which isn't telling the truth, but it's a way that you can gain and benefit from it, if someone to call it profit. Does that trait link over with Kenny Veach? Because I know Susan Veach has said a few things about Kenny and the family, saying that they're either really greedy with money and they're quite nasty people at times and cutthroat. That's what Susan had said. Bank account access from iPad, perhaps, maybe. And if it's a personal, let's just say it's a personal device, one of the family members, and if they were in on it, and if the login details and all that was stored on the iPad or in the notepad section, and it said, Kenny, get the iPad, follow these details, you can access it from here or there. And maybe because the device tracks back to family or whoever, you don't have to worry about it being in the wrong hands or being followed upon. Whereas if Kenny or someone else stole an iPad or a phone from a stranger and it could be traced or tracked, a stranger's more likely to follow up on it and you're going to be caught out more. Death Riders, it looked like Kenny, but was hard to tell. I mean, it is black and white, so it is a bit difficult. The hairline, similar, I would say at least. The clothing, in some ways. Oh, that's the other thing, Death Riders. I think that there was other CCTV cameras, but they weren't working, or they just weren't used. Oh, no, not that I mentioned the CCTV cameras. It reminds me of the Presgrove case. What a disaster that was. But supposedly, I think there was other CCTV cameras in the store, meaning different camera angles, but they chose not to use them. They chose not to show them in the news footage. Why not? I think there might have been cameras outside as well. I did a map analysis of the building, but they didn't even use those. Why did they only use one CCTV camera in the store? Maybe just as news coverage. Why can't they just show the other angles and perspectives? Is it because it showed too much and they didn't want the general public to see that? His limp, hurt leg you could see in the video. Jeff Clark said it's because he ended up dropping something and that's why he stumbled about. But it did look like his leg was a bit tender. And that links back to his leg injury back in the past when he covered 20 miles up a mountain, did his leg in. I think it was his left leg, I think. And he was airlifted away. It depends which leg he was limping on in the footage, of course. Welcome to anyone else that is watching in the background. Feel free to share your thoughts and opinions and discussions as we go along. It's going well tonight, I would say. Good amount of people watching, good amount in the chat. A lot of action going on. Looks like Robin has disappeared. I don't know if he's ran off or not, but that's unfortunate. But yeah, the mine shaft. Look, you got the mine shaft. You got Robin talking about it. You got a pen drive being dumped down there. You got a crystal skull that was placed down there as well. You got the mine shaft where the secret tunnel networks and connections. You got the mine shaft where Kenny put his phone and coin as. But then you've also got SB with the other mine shaft that's been found. And then you've got the mine shaft area where you've got phantom footsteps and hearing stuff. What the hell is going on in that area? It makes it sound like that there are two places of interest in the area of the hike. The little section of Picture Canyon where you've got the selection row of caves, where SB lost footage. Jeff Clark lost time from one photo to another, took 2 hours time difference when the photos were taken, and it was under 1 mile of distance covered. Makes no sense whatsoever. Jeff was zapped on that same day. Drivenix Adventures, good job. Keep up the great work. I do appreciate hearing your opinion and thoughts. Appreciate that, Driven. It's good what you say. Much appreciated. Oh shit, Winnie the Pooh, I forgot all about you. Nearly rhymed. How's the weather in Wirral, Winnie the Pooh? I mean, it's dark, so you might not be able to tell what the weather is like outside, but how's it been today over there? We'll get some more casual conversation a bit afterwards if there is time, but really locked in with the case tonight, catching up and tying up loose ends. What else do we need to acknowledge? So yeah, the mine shaft, one or the other seems to be a hotspot area for paranormal, strange, unexplained activity, for Kenny Veach's presence, for his scent ending at one of the two mine shafts, double backing on himself, or disappearing, being kidnapped or taken away into thin air on the spot. Hood boys, who threatened my boy? Warlike Rev, just got to the live. Whoever threatened my boy got to deal with some serious people on my side. That sounds good, Hood boys. I don't think I said before, but what's that profile picture of? It looks good. It's quite aesthetic. There we go. We've got Glenn. Welcome, Glenn. Yeah, do you know what? Because I talked about psychology before, we can tie that in once again, you know, with everything. So yeah, death threats. We'll talk about the death threats right now. So it originally happened to me, but then it happened to a viewer that tried looking into it in some way. The, what was it, Destroyer of Worlds username, checks out there. A person in recent time left binary code on a video of mine which was a few years old. And that video of mine, I think, was to do with me talking about myself in the case, whether it be in a light-hearted way, conspiracies about Warlike Wrath. There was a time where I did a video where I had very terrible lighting quality. I looked like I was in the dark, and people assumed that I was in a witness protection program just because I had shit lighting. People thought I was hiding. I wasn't. Some people have thought that my doorknobs back there hang higher up instead of lower down because it's some kind of conspiracy to stop people from getting in and out. What other conspiracies have there been? My hair, my hairline, and other things like that. Lipstick, eyeliner, fake eyelashes. No one said anything about fake nails, but I don't show my nails. Weird stuff going on. But beside that, when it comes to binary codes, on an old video, a person in recent time left one. It was like zeros and ones, as you'd expect, but it had like a line going through it, so you had to try and eliminate that before you even decode it. And one of the codes, at least, decoded to what they were saying was, you know something we don't. I mean, first of all, that's one of the most stupid things you could possibly say. You're trying to be dark, you're trying to intimidate, and you say, you Warlike Wrath, you know more than what we do. So why are you threatening me? The person that should do the threatening should be the one that knows the most. And if anyone else gets closer to that truth, then they should be the one threatened. What? So a person says to me, you know something we don't. Well, if I know more than you, then what the hell are you doing and why are you threatening me? Plank. But the actual death threat, which was like a longer code, whether it came first or after the other one, it translated to, stop doing these videos or you will be next. I am warning you. The killers are aware of you. So there's more than one. There's a handful of killers that will kill me if I continue making videos. Now, there's been other codes in the past where it was a bit more cryptic. There was a friend of mine online called Michelle Mosaic that took 12 hours to manually decode one of the cryptic messages. And after they decoded it, they disappeared, never to be seen again. I don't know what the fuck is going on with people that I know of that end up going missing. You know, South African disappears for 10 months, don't hear anything from them, radio silence. Mosaic Michelle disappears for life. What's going on with humans? I'm sure there'll be a conspiracy where people say, well, if it happens too much Warlike Wrath, maybe you're making people disappear. No. People are doing it either to themselves or out of their own control. Weird stuff going on. But yeah, to say stop doing these videos or you will be next. I mean, in some ways, who's more likely to be killed? A person who lives in the UK that covers stuff online, or a person that gets hands-on, boots on ground, up close to the possible truth, as in hikers? You'd expect, not hope, but you would expect a hiker to be killed before someone like me gets killed, you know? Unless I know something more, whether I truly know or indirectly I'm closer to the truth than other people. Or sometimes, whether you're boots on ground or not, the most consistent person, the most frequent person can pose as the biggest threat to whoever out there. The one that's doing all the constant coverage in the bright lights and the dark lights. And if it ever gets too close to something that they're in on or know about, they'll push back, there'll be resistance. It's happened many times in many different ways. It's even happened in true crime, where groups of so-called nice people who claim the justice for this and justice for that are the same people that are trying to shut me down, falsely report my videos, get them taken down, in which 4 or 5 were taken down in the past for no good reason, false reports, but still YouTube followed through with it. And then the odd other person saying, well, like, Raf, you need to step down from the case, you need to back off. But by the way, justice for the case, it needs to be kept alive. How do you expect it to be kept alive when the catalyst, the one that single-handedly kept the case alive on YouTube in the other case, you want that person to step down? Don't you think inevitably it's going to die? People do not think things through clearly in those situations. But in the past, there's been other cryptic messages by supposedly other people with Russian usernames. And I think Sean Horlacker said one of which was using a VPN in a Russian cafe or something. I don't know if that links down to anything like that. Winnie the Pooh coming in as the therapy session. Calm down, calm down, calm down. Does it look like I'm going to calm down? My blood pressure's going to go through the roof right now. I think I need a little bit more to calm down than that. I think I need refreshments. Right, just catching up. Hood boys, I welcome people to run my IP address. I promise it won't be the same energy when you find me. I stand with you, Ref. Appreciate that. Death Riders, Sean had a video where he was being stalked by people. One guy was on a motorcycle. Yeah. The motorcycle, the biker-looking guy. He went down the street where it got darker. I don't know. I think there was like a moment where it made me laugh or something, even though it was supposed to be serious. But it's something like, can you give me a push? I don't know if it said it like a gay voice or something. It just made me laugh at the time. But Sean said he said it seemed weird the way the biker guy was, and it was towards the end of the street where it got dark and there was no light, and a bit further on into the desert area there was a mine shaft, so Sean felt he was going to be maybe pushed into it, so he stayed back. Something like that. But as for the other threats in the past, it's been, I know if we are reasonable, but we will use force if need be. Make sure you look through your windows. Make sure you sleep with one eye open. Things like that. Whether it's a prank or not, it's got to be taken seriously, or at least documented, just in case. Too often, people will say to me, oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, it's fine. Oh, it's nothing serious. I'll just laugh it off. I do things differently. I am different, I react different, but guess what? Because I take it serious, when something does go down, when shit does go down, at least I'm ready. Ready to do what? Well, just to document or react more accordingly, depending. People that take things too lightly, joke around too much, piss about, when stuff does go wrong, they're not ready for it and maybe more caught off guard. And to be honest, in life, it's better to take most things too serious than it is to take everything lighthearted. Because if you take everything lighthearted, that could be seen as disrespectful to someone that is being honest or raw about something, and you're not taking it serious. It shows a sign of a lack of respect or understanding. But at least if you take it serious, you might come across as boring. You might ruin or spoil the odd joke, but at least you're active, you're present, you're listening, and you're taking it serious because you care about a situation, about a person. See, that's how it links back to the whole communication thing, how I was talking about earlier on. If the people are piss poor in communication, sometimes it can link to recklessness, and recklessness can be directly or indirectly interpreted as lack of care. So if you're too careless or carefree in a case and you're targeted, you could disappear. You could disappear without a trace. You could go quiet. Things unexpected could happen. And because you didn't take it serious, you didn't do a backup, you didn't archive it, you didn't give a heads up, you didn't give any communication, people are going to think you're missing, people are going to think the worst. Whereas if anything went wrong, I've already done a video explaining what could happen, what could go wrong. I did videos in the past, even late at night in the dark when I'm stood in the garden on grass, which is probably wet, and there'd probably slugs and spiders all over the place. And I did a video saying, right, I've just received a death threat, I've received a message, just wanted to let you know this is what's happened. If you don't hear from me tomorrow or the day later, something bad's happened. Some said, oh, you're being a bit drastic, you're taking a bit over the top, you're going a bit too far. Well, at least I'm taking it in mind for the different possibilities. So if anything did go wrong, people have an idea of what could have happened because it has been recorded, it's been documented, and then you can go from there. Other people that don't take it serious, they don't expect it, they don't anticipate it, and then when something does go wrong, there's got nothing there, no trace, no documentation, nothing, and then no one else knows. Game over. Try and be a few steps ahead just in case. Let's see. I'm just catching up with the comments. Oh, Shazza, I'm sure there were a group of kids in a rented office sending you weird messages. Probably not the same thing, but there was a time where there was a Kenny Veach or an M Cave mystery clue website of two younger individuals that created it, but the father was there a millionaire or a rich person, and the site was taken down because it had misinformation, it had some dodgy stuff, and the IP address linked back to Canada, and there was some reference to Kenny Veach or someone to do with Canada in the past. Something weird. Joel Colgrove, welcome tonight. Death threats are never cool, serious or not, definitely document them exactly, because you never know what may happen next. But you know what? You know, humans, some out there, death threats to me, if I continue it, I will be killed, I will be taken out. How can you kill someone who's already dead inside, who's still walking about? Silly, silly. Right, what else do we have? Death Riders, yeah, guy claimed he was broke down and needed help, sat for 6 hours according to Sean. Sean did say it was something petty the guy could do on his own. Yeah. I think he did an impression of the guy and it sounded quite funny. I think he said like, oh, it won't move. Oh, it's like that just made me laugh. I was, you know, it's supposed to be serious, but it just sounded funny, the voice, what he did. Shortly after that video, Sean was quiet, didn't post much to YouTube, but he was posting on another platform, I can't remember, but it was political videos. Yep, Death Riders, that was TikTok. QAnon, I think it was to do with Trump and some other stuff. Sean Horlacher did at least one video where he was in his car, he had his black sunglasses on TikTok, did a video, I think he got like 10,000 plus views, maybe 100,000. He even appeared in a news article and then he was shut down afterwards. His TikTok account or his video was taken down and then that was the end of that. Winnie the Pooh, you're an alien. I have felt like that many times, yes. I'm sure if an X-ray was done on my body, all kinds of unusual things would be found. But yeah. So, is there anyone that's going to be abducted from Wirral if I'm an alien? If I come from space, descend down to Wirral, who do I kidnap? I should probably not say that, it sounds bad, that. Abduct for human experimentation. You're welcome, Death Riders. Yeah, whenever I keep reading the name Death Riders, I keep thinking of AEW, the wrestling show, with that faction called the Death Riders and John Moxley. What else do we have? Right, so done the death threats, the mine shaft, psychology part. Winnie the Pooh. I've already been probed. Ouch. Why didn't that craft scoop me up? I'll have to go back out there with like glow sticks or something and wave them about in the dark and try and bring them closer. I can. But yeah, Winnie the Pooh, if there's any words you want me to say or any lines and the accent, feel free. Like a little language class, if you want me to try and pronounce anything, any words, I can do so, or I'll try at least in the meantime. It was a ship my brother was on in the Navy, USS Fletcher, Death Riders. Ah, okay, fair enough. Nice. Good name. Yeah, so the other thing I'll just talk about briefly, if there's any more comments, questions, thoughts, or theories after that point, and then I'll end the live stream. But I need to talk about the Kenny Veach bullet, the Kenny Veach bullet situation, the language behind it, and how humans have reacted there. Death Riders, where you live, UK. Yes, I am from the UK. Winnie the Pooh believes I am from Wirral. I don't know how, but supposedly. Yeah, Death Riders. The thing is, my accent, I do about 16 different accents. So depending what day you catch me on, and I don't mean multiple personality, I just mean accents all over. So if one day you caught me doing, God, so cringy. If you caught me doing a Valley girl accent, you might question, oh, where's this person from? Padded room or something. I don't even know what I would say. Like, oh my God, is that really Death Riders? Oh, stop! My goodness, golly gosh, this is wonderful. Oh my God. See, normally I do it naturally, but it's not quite the correct environment to be doing it right now. But when it happens, the flow is a bit more better. It's hard to place. Interesting, hard to place. Yeah, probably my voice goes up and down, slightly different accents. It's like, yeah, there's 16 or so. You're good at that. What, good at the Valley Girl or good in general with the accents? I think, yeah, that was the thing. There's been phases where people say, Warlight Raf, you talk in a monotone voice. It's so boring. What do you want me to do? You want me to do a fucking Australian accent, mate? Where's Andrew Culver at? I'm sorry, I get confused. I keep thinking the koalas are over there. Got that wrong. Who's the other person? And that person goes, Sharai? What I like to know is Warlight Raf. There's a bit of a cyberbully online. Is that so? I don't think so, mate. You know, what's that all about? Yeah, it's just things that happened in the past. I just use that just as the script lines, because what are you supposed to say on the spot? I don't know. But what I'm getting at is, if people say, I'll try a London accent, but that'll go wrong. Oh my God, shut the front door. Goodness great. No, I won't say that. Fuck that shit. But like, when people say, don't be talking in a monotone voice, I mean, what voice am I supposed to talk in then? Talking about a hillbilly voice. Oh my goodness gracious, man, I'm gonna be killing Kenny Veach case today. Oh my God, what the hell you didn't get out of my town, boy? Or, well, to be honest, the one that would be fitting would be when that fake Robin showed up. Oh, hello, nowadays, my name is really Robin. Today I'm going to be showing you Kenny Veach got on camera. To be honest, that sounds like one of those bloody cheap shorts videos what you'd get on YouTube where some person from India that decided to do some coverage on the Kenny Veach case in some AI scripted way. Or Kenny Veach is a very mysterious individual. Where has he gone now? Oh, really, Robin claims that he's from India. Oh, that is very good. Thank you, come again. Is he in India? No. Normally, I think when I do the accents, I don't show my face on screen because my face looks weird when I do it. That sounded Cajun. Lol, 7-Eleven. Yo, my God. You gotta stop like this. Synchronicity is so perfect. I did the impression of Cleo at times. What was Cleo like? Oh my God, that's what I'm all about. Really hectic, busy lifestyle, really loud. Yeah. Like that. Need a whole Kenny Veach map analysis in the accent now. Oh God. What, which accent? Michaela, did I miss something? Had to rush outside. Oh no, did the horse get loose? Oh no. Michaela, God damn, do you let the horse out right now? Oh no, Michaela, you get right here, boy. You've been late already to the party. Not gonna be having it again. The Indian one. The thing is, Imperial, there was one time when I did the Indian accent and someone that I knew of said that I sounded like their uncle. Maybe I am. Shh. No, I'm not. But I do have like a little spot on my head. a little dot, and supposedly I think actually, where's that person, Anna, with the one passport, their username? Welcome, Anna. You have one passport. I don't even have a visa. My name is Trevor. Can you show me the way? Dev Riders, show me the way. Can I have free transportation upon the Dev Riders? Can I go by sea? I need to see a lot. I haven't got much time. I have no reason to be running. Something like that. Uncle Warlike Raph. Oh no, God. So it went from a phase of Warlike Raph being called the next Ted Bundy to then some people saying, oh my God, it's Daddy Warlike Raph. Oh my God, Daddy. I don't say that, but other people did. And now it's like Uncle Warlike Raph. My goodness, if I go any further, I'll be in the grave in a short time. Dracula, man. Well, I can't do the accent, but I do have the teeth for it because I don't like do like oral activity and show my mouth or sticking my tongue out. But that on there is quite sharp, like a fangs. It can puncture things if it needs to, but I can't say I have bitten anyone. Not yet. Cleo, trigger, why don't you? We don't need to trigger. It's all under control. Yeah. Click all over the place. What are you going to do about that? Oh, no, Michaela. No. Chills. Yeah, I can do the Chills voice. I don't know if it's going to sound the same because I've not done it for a while. What is it? Top 5. What would I say? I need a script first of all. Was it Death Riders? I need a drink before I do this one. Oh, right, your impression of Dracula sounds East Indian. Well, you never know. Well, actually, Death Riders, if you're doing an impression of Dracula, East Indian, what type of garlic is he not attracted to? Is like, if you like a garlic curry? Yes, Chills is great. Okay. Lena, I'm going to try and do a Chills impression right now. I've not done it for a long time. It might not sound good. I'll come in my mouth just to get a term. Number 5. Recently, there was reports of an individual called Death Riders. Once upon a time in the desert, he realized there was a weird flying object flying over him. Going at 50 miles per hour, he was unable to catch it on camera. But sometimes you never know what's out there. Oh, God. It goes something like that. It goes like up and down. At least it worked. Because with having that cough, which has lasted for weeks now, I thought I lost the ability to do certain voices or stuff because I'm not doing it that often. Yeah. So yeah, that's the Chills one. Well, at least that worked out. At least the fireworks have calmed down outside now. Cleo seems to be getting triggered when I keep doing the Chills voice. Join me next time as we look at top 30. Feel free to look at my playlist along the way. I think I did like 11 different accents back to back once, just to get my point across. I mean, like, there's some people that have been saying, well, like, Raph, you talk too slow. And then I ended up doing like almost like a rap. When I was talking once, someone said, you talk too fast. If I talk too fast, if I talk too slow, you just go on YouTube, you click on the little bar, the little gear icon, and you can adjust the speed of a video. I don't know why people don't do that. Winnie the Pooh, where are you? I thought Winnie the Pooh, you're going to give like some language class or some words to say. I'll pronounce them if you want me to, if you're still there. Death Riders say Kenny's gun was never recovered via Chills. It's been reported by the girlfriend, known as Sharon Pilgrim, who reported that Kenny Veach's gun was nowhere to be seen in the house. Some say that maybe he took it with him. As noted in October 2014, he was seen with his handgun holstered on his hip area. Maybe he used it when he was out there. The girlfriend claims a suicide. There you go. We got Madness Shark NASCAR YouTube. What an interesting username. Welcome. Welcome, Madness. What if Kenny Veach got eaten by an animal? I mean, like, put it this way, if his scent ended at the mine shaft, which it supposedly did, and if he was eaten or disposed of by an animal from there and his bones were scattered, you'd expect more than a phone and coins to be left there. You'd expect his backpack, his tent, his hat, his gun, things that the animals wouldn't eat or take. EJ, do the countdown in different accents. Well, as long as it's not in languages, we're okay there. Could do a quick little demonstration right now. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 15, 12, 11. Would you like some water with that? I'm your waiter. Hola. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Nasta привет, здравствуй тебе, друга. There you go, we got a little bit of Russian as well. There we go. I can't remember every accent. 1, 2, 3, 4, top of the morning to you. Where's the potato pickers at? There was one time where some individual said I didn't even sound like an Irish accent. How dare they say that, little twerp? I'm not a therapist, but I'll see to you in a second. The door's always open. Wallycraft, Dr. Wallycraft, sword here. That's right, it is. And then, was it Craig or someone from Scotland? What are you doing over there? Get right now. We're not messing about. How do you count in Scotland? 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why am I counting upwards? I'm supposed to be counting down. Look at what the accents are doing to me. It's consuming me, so I can't even count. It was hard enough last time counting from 20 down to 0. I can't even count up now. Don't make me do the alphabet. All hope's lost now. Death Riders, that bullet case you said was found, what caliber was it? Do you know? Well, Michaela says I'm laughing my bump ass off. Careful, Michaela, you might need to get another one reconstructed, but don't worry, Warlight Ref can do that. Well, I've never done it before, but I'm sure it's all under control. Sounded Scottish for a minute, exactly. That's what my intention was, so it's good to know that you picked up on that. I will catch up with the Kenny Veach stuff in just a second. I hope you find what you want with this case. You definitely have put in the work. Okay. Shazza, nearly 10:45 p.m. All the fireworks have gone silent here. 10:45 p.m. Nearly, okay. Let me just catch up. So Shazza, with the time that you say is the time that it is for me, so I'm guessing you're from the UK, if I'm correct. Where's Winnie the Pooh gone? Has he disappeared? Get back here now, Winnie the Pooh. Not finished yet. Right. 11:46 a.m. Crikey, mate. Imperial Wreck. Right on, mate. I don't even know if that's a New Zealand accent, but it's the closest I can do. No Man's Land. I wonder if anyone was there and if perhaps the disappearance was faked, but Kenny knew nothing about the rest of the nasty stuff, perhaps. Shazza. Yep. There we go. Shazza. Good name, that. Perhaps would be interesting to know. Australia. I know, mate, but I can only do so many accents. I'll have to try and learn the New Zealand one somewhere. Hood Boys. 2:46 p.m. in San Diego, California. We got, is that All Stars? MS All Stars. Hey, Warlight Ref from Ontario, Canada. There we go, Canada. So we've got range now. That's all good. Michaela. 23:47. Ooh, a little bit ahead, Michaela. Getting closer to bedtime. Need a bedtime story reading now. Dust the cobwebs off the book. See what's within it. 3:47, Arizona. Ooh, Vienna. Ooh, 23:47. What is it, like an not Australian, an Austrian accent? I don't know. It's not an Austrian accent. I can do a bit of an Arnold one. Well, no, I don't know if I can actually do it right now. Right now, the riders, you ready? Sound of the trap in the ground. Is from coming from above. It sounds like I'm kind of choking in my own blood when I do that. I can see you, Winnie the Pooh. I can see you loud and clear. Don't you worry. Just calm me down and it'll be all fine. But what I like to know, Winnie the Pooh, is what's the weather like? Started a time check. Yes, we have Shazam. I'm going to be checking my imaginary watch every second now. Oh my God, EJ Ball from London. Have you got the London luck? I can't do the London accent. Don't even know how to do that, but there we go. Some things are work in progress with time. It does help when people are from certain areas. If I do the accent, if you're from that area and you say it sounds like it. I mean, it has happened at times where some people from certain countries have said, you do a better accent than what I can do. I don't know what to say to that. Love the soccer card video. More hockey hair. Love the soccer card video. Oh, is what my video when I was opening football packs. Hood boys. Do you know, I'm in some weird flow now where when I read comments out, I'm just reading it in bloody accents now. Bro, you're awesome. Never stop being awesome. The weird thing is, I find it easier doing a female accent, an American accent, than doing a male one. I don't know why. We're still turning the clock. Yes, Michaela, turn that clock till the hands fall off. Yeah. Make it spin so fast. Raf, you ever see the video of that creature that was in a man tree tearing branches off? Don't think so. Oh, but speaking of things flying on over, yeah, true. The way we say soccer, you say football. True. And when we say football boots, you say cleats. Wow. Get some new cleats. Got to run some errands. Go to some groceries, get some yogurt. Oh my God, tomatoes. Such a hectic lifestyle. How did people do that? Oh God, I'm gonna have a meltdown because my nails are broken right now. And many other things. Twice a year. Yes, we need it. We need it. We need it 10 times a year. Michaela, we need to check the clocks 10 times. Got to turn the clocks upside down. Michaela, turn the clocks upside down. You got to confuse the mind, man. Isn't a banger a sausage? Yeah, but I don't know who says what, to be honest. Wait, do you say wiener or something? You can talk American due to your benign... How do you know? What? Right, so... Interesting situations with what's going on. Some very interesting developments in all kinds of ways. But in terms of that video that I did, the Kenny Veach Cleo, I'm not finished. Oh, sorry. I'll let you finish. But no, with Kenny Veach's bullet found, question mark. That's the important point, which I don't think people picked up on. Some. Have I been across the Pontus States? Not at this moment. Michaela, yes, my analog clock still reads 0051. Yes, Michaela, keep it as that. Keep it under control. Hood boys, I got yelled at by some lady because I called her a vegetarian and then she said she's vegan, not a vegetarian. I was so confused after that altercation. Okay. I think the other accent I can do is like, it's like a warlike Karen. If it was like a situation where I was that person, I'd be like, yeah, hood boy, I'd like to see your manager. I'm really disappointed. I'm going to get you filed. Yeah, I'm going to start a lawsuit because my name's Warlike Karen and I'm really offended. Yeah. You're not missing much. The US is crazy different nowadays. Yeah, you got the wild Jay Silverheels going about. Jay Silverheels, the hiker that was supposedly shooting in the dark to scare donkeys in the Mojave Desert, from what Jeff Clark said, from what Jay Silverheels mentioned. Warlike Karen. Yep. So, in regard to that video, the last one that was done, Kenny Veach bullet found ? Map analysis or murder theory map analysis. What I find interesting is some humans got so stuck, obsessed, petty, sexually frustrated to some extent of, oh my God, White Ralph, why you've titled it like this? Well, calm down first of all. The odd plank decided to complain before even watching the video. I mean, if you, not to anyone in general, but if you look, listen and learn, you'll pick up that when I did the video and I analysed the photo, I said, this is not a 9mm, this does not belong to a handgun, it's more of a rifle. There's a difference. I even showed the footage of where SB acknowledges it too, simple as. The title itself has a question mark. When a question mark is used, it implies a lack of uncertainty. It's not for definite, it's not a fact. If you said Kenny Veach's bullet found, no question mark, it's like you're stating it as a fact by it is Kenny's bullet, it has been found. But if you say Kenny Veach's bullet found, a little tone change implies a character of a question mark. And a question mark is to engage the questions and discussions of what could this be about? What's the situation here? And then I weigh in it on an analysis. And the fact that on the same title, I said like a slash or a forward dash or something, or murder theory, as in murder as in an alternative bullet, an alternative firearm used against Kenny. And for most part of the video that I did, it was more aimed towards the murder theory than it was aimed towards Kenny's bullet. Right? But more people were too pressed and stuck on the first part of the title than the rest of the video. So if humans can get so fixated on just one small thing whilst misunderstanding language and the interpretation of it, they're neglecting the rest, they're neglecting the case, and it shows a disappointing mindset to have in the case as well. I'm not amused. So when people get really focused in on that, tunnel vision behavior, look at the criticisms, look at the supposed negatives, and neglect the rest of the video. It's much worse in the true crime case community, because people in true crime would say, you know, Warlike Ralph, what the hell is this all about? Can't be bothered watching it, doesn't include this, doesn't include that, and then say, well, actually, I only watched for about 30 seconds and I clicked off. So how do you expect to know what's mentioned in the video? You didn't even watch it. So that's what happens. Oh, there we go. Death Riders. Oh, I think I've already linked it. Well, we'll just say, look into Mac Adventures. They got arrested at Area 51, no longer post any videos. Very strange. Yes, all under control, Death Riders. I did look into it previously. I even linked it to Kenny Veach. I linked it to Really Robin. I did a video of it in recent time and in the past as well. I've done a standalone. Yeah, Death Riders, I did a standalone body language analysis video of the son of Mac Adventures that was in that car with his white shirt on, looking around, looked a bit cautious. The fact that he changed from in the past of being passionate about exploring, going to Area 51, the gates, stepping the boundary at times, pushing the limits, driven by the passion, but also I guess the audience and the statistics and growth makes complete sense. Then it all went wrong that final time when Kev crossing over that little back gate unmanned. First, the vehicle passed on by, they carried on. And then I guess the vehicle turned back round, came back up, pulled over. Big, bold guy. I suppose he fit in that uniform, to be honest. I think the buttons would have burst all over the place. Was holding that handgun. And then the other guy as well, aiming, said, put your hands up and stuff. And then after that, they still uploaded the video, but then they went quiet. And for what, was it for quite some months or a year? Completely quiet, and eventually the son of Mac Adventures uploaded that video, live stream, talking about the situation. I think there was 2 clips. One was a short one was a longer one, and basically going from being passionate to saying there's nothing over there at the base, it's just military, that's all it is, there's nothing to see, and the trend of storming the base, it's pointless, it's silly. So you go from being very passionate about something to now not. Whenever someone or some people change in behavior and there's such a big U-turn and it's not like them, something has gone wrong. They won't even talk about it. And the thing is, Death Riders, Ewu crew, the originals, did a little investigation, reached out to the son of Mac Adventures. There was a bit of resistance on and off. They finally got through to him, and through some words or code words, they said, was it detention centre? They were held at some place by military or police for about 4 to 6 months, and it might have changed their psychological state as well. They were detained, they were taken in, held captive or something for so many months. Was there anything else? The other thing, Death Riders, have you heard of the YouTube channel Adventures with Christian? Adventures with Christian went out into that desert, the Mojave Desert and wherever, exploring abandoned buildings, exploring just a desert area, sometimes with his son, sometimes just by himself. And then when lockdown happened, after that, he just disappeared. Something to do with going to Canada, maybe, but went quiet. For many years, not posted since. And then I think there was a time where Adventures with Christian went to an abandoned building and it was all spray paint, whether it be death threats or insults, and they were claiming that the person behind that was, what was the username? Area 51 backpacker, Area 51, some guy in like a quad bike or something on YouTube that had it in for Adventures with Christian. I'm afraid something like that happened to Kenny. Military got him. No, I don't know if that channel interests him. Yeah, just search Adventures with Christian Las Vegas and it will show. Just a username, Adventures with Christian, and then you'll see. About Area 51, the Janet jets, planes coming and going, exploring about. I think Adventures with Christian with his son went up to, was it Tickaboo Peak, and looked over Area 51 and recorded it or so. I was going to do it as a stand, I can still do it. The thing, one theory which I've created Death Riders is there a possibility that Kenny Veach was detained, taken away by military, and through some kind of agreement or negotiation that Kenny was allowed to live or have some freedom, but he had to become the rogue hiker to drive people away or to divert people from the area. Hence why the mineshaft brace ladder was damaged, sabotaged to hurt people. I go in the desert often looking for tunnels and such all the time, crazy stuff out there. And speaking of which, Death Riders is for tunnels. I think there's one video on YouTube of a person in the Nevada desert somewhere went into a tunnel and they could hear like fans underground, buzzing, humming sounds in the middle of nowhere. Interesting. Now I just saw the time. Well, in terms of all the notes, bullet points, and catching up with everything, I've been able to do that, thankfully. If there are any final thoughts, questions, ideas, and whatnot you want to drop in the comment section, in the live chat, feel free to do so. May still be in government custody, you never know. But yeah, what I'll do shortly, I'm going to do it because of the time and the time zone. I'm going to do a bit of a countdown shortly and then leave it there. But as a heads up, tomorrow I'm likely going to do a video on Kenny Veach. I know Jeff Clark mentioned about Art Bell. Try and get into that. But I did find an article, Travel Nevada. We've already covered that to do with the case, but that was just a general one. Was it great? So sad. But Travel Nevada has done some coverage on Art Bell, I think Aliens and Kenny Veach, and they've actually linked it together with some quotes and interviews. So I can read that out, I can analyse it, give my raw thoughts, and do a video of that tomorrow or the day after. So expect that coming up shortly. Roosters, random reviews. Oh, we got a rooster, don't know if I can do it on the spot. Welcome, rooster. Keep up the good work. Again, don't make me talk in a rooster, but I can't translate that. Keep up the good work. Again, don't let anyone tell you how to do your content. Keep posting questions, keep investigating. Just because Kenny Veach is not trending doesn't mean we shouldn't look into it. Appreciate that, rooster. Hood boys, whatever happens to Kenny, it's still sad just because we never really got closure the M Cave or what really happened to him. Because there's like a handful of M-shaped caves out there, they might all be just caves and not the cave. Maybe not much you can go off from that. But there can still be mysteries found along the way. Maybe not in the correct order, but some things can link. Some things old, some things new, they can link. But yeah, still got some videos and ideas, some crossovers, overlaps. Some videos may be short, some videos may be long. It just depends what can be talked about. And not everything can be talked about in depth or in length. So just expect short videos here and there. And then we'll see what happens next. Any more discussions, any more ideas, but all Michaela Caves. Oh, is that the time where Warlight Raf says something really dodgy and says, if there's a lot of Michaela Caves, I would love to go deep diving into Michaela's cave. Sorry, what? I don't know. I don't know what was said there. Anyway, I'll just wash my mouth out. Death Riders, I've been here on your other live streams with my other account. Let's find out. That's me just, okay, I appreciate that. I usually just watch, but I'm chatty today. That's all good, that, and you've mentioned some good questions. And interesting now, some of the points you've mentioned, Death Rider, like with the Mac Adventures, I've come across to some extent too, on the same wavelength there. Poor Michaela. I hope I've not given you nightmares or traumatized you. No Man's Land, as I said, I also wanted to thank you for all your research and for sticking so persistently with the case. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's good about your hair. Good individual. See, with all these videos being done almost daily, I'd never have thought of doing a few months ago. A few months ago when I was covering Noah Presgrove, that case was dying. I did everything that I could, every idea and whatnot at the time. When I was coming back to Kenny Veach, I had to. It was the right thing to do and the right time, but I only had like 2 or 3 ideas and that was it. And then give or take a day or two, generated 10 ideas. How? Just adaptation, evolving, picking up on more, questioning more, seeing more. So by moving away from the Kenny Veach case, doing other stuff, and then coming back, it's helped. Michaela, everything's under control. I can handle this. Is that so, Michaela? You can handle Dr. Rath? Well, I'm very impressed. That's good to know. So there's enough room and space. Deep and dark. No, I'm not talking about Kenny Veach's description. No. Very interesting. So, if you're still there, Winnie the Pooh, let me know. At least I've not been coughing as much tonight, so there's some improvement there. Death Riders, I'm amazed at the information you retain from all the cases you work on. Truly a strong mind you have. Yes, some people have said, Death Riders, that I am a nightmare to some people because I remember what they've done, what they've said, and when they've messed up. I can't help it. Michaela says it's hidden. Oh, I'm sure it is hidden. Tucked away. Hard to find, hard to reach. Well, maybe. But I guess if you're good at deep diving, doing a deep, well, I guess because I'm good at analyzing stuff, it will be under control. Very under control. Yeah. I do such a good job being able to say all this with such a straight face. So if anyone else has joined this live stream at an out of context time, welcome. Be sure to rewind back to the beginning or earlier on when talking about the Kenny Veach case and M Cave mystery. Shortly, I will do a bit of a countdown from 20 and then leave it as that. Winnie the Pooh, carbon monoxide. What, am I being poisoned? Oh, there we go. We've got Trav. So, yeah, appreciate that, Trav. So I keep doing all these accents now because it's just got stuck in me now. I can't get it out of my head. But there was one time when I did the Valley Girl voice too much that when I was just talking normal, I ended up talking in that way. So I was like, well, got to keep it under control because I end up becoming that. Imperial, thank you for the great stream. You're welcome. Glad you're here. And a shout out to everyone that has been present, watching, and those watching in the background, those coming and going in between too. do some more live streams in the future when possible. I think Trav was the one that said, yes, good idea in regard to a debrief here and there when it comes to do a handful of normal videos, then reflect back on them in a live stream just to catch up on any loose ends or if there's any additional comments that need to be made. Interesting how that really Robin showed up tonight, but only very brief. Who knows what plans they have next. I think the only thing that needs to be observed in the future, comparison-wise, would be that new mineshaft, the second mineshaft, which SB found. If it's altered with, if it's adjusted or changed with time, you know someone's out there, maybe a rogue hiker, just like the other areas of interest with time. When something's caught on camera, documented or investigated, a few years later, it ends up being altered with or changed. So someone in between has gone there, unrecorded, off camera, in a more secretive way. So in the shadows, people do work for the right or wrong reasons. Who knows? Anyway, with that being said, oh yeah, make sure Winnie the Pooh, you spread the name of Warlight Ref through Wirral, New Brighton, and wherever else. Let as many Wirral individuals know about the Ref of War. Well, no, not that way. Warlight Ref. I'm ending up pronouncing it like the way that other plank did when they tried going against me on YouTube. Warlight Ref. Wirral like Ref. Oh no, is that a link, Winnie the Pooh? I don't know. But I'm sure you can figure that out. But yeah, make sure to spread the awareness there so more people down that way hear about the channel. I don't know, or if anyone that you know of, Winnie the Pooh, if they're interested in true crime or mysteries and whatnot, and just see where that goes, because you know, the awareness does go quite some time. So I'm going to do a countdown now from 20, and if there's any final questions or points, feel free to leave them down below, and yeah, then we'll leave it there. 20, 19, 18, 17, take care, Shazza, sleep well, or whenever you go to sleep. 18, 17, 16, 15, Sky as well. Take care, Sky. And Trav too. Death Riders, you're welcome. Glad you liked the video. 15. Good night, Mike, even though I can't do the accents. No Man's Land. 15. I'm stuck on the number 15. Take care, Michaela. Good night. Sleep well. Try not to have too many nightmares with what's been said tonight. 15. Oh, 14. There we go. 13. 12. 11. 10. Glad you liked it, Ralph and Eta. Take care too. Oh, Trevor the Cowboy. Oh, yeah, Michaela, you got to stick around for that one. Number 5. 15. Winnie has to release himself once again. Take care, Rooster. Appreciate that, Death Riders. Michaela. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, number 5. Once upon a time, there was an individual called Michaela who was quite interested in black belts. And once they felt the touch of the black belt, well, we'll leave it there because it would probably go on a bit too long, that. As long as that belt. Yeah. Number 5, 4, tree, 2, because I can't say the number 3. And 1, 0. Winnie the Pooh, why have you got the tap on? Are you peeing in a glass? Don't mix that up with liquid to drink. Yeah, Michaela, probably. I could do a whole narration video on Michaela in a certain voice. 07, 007. 007. License to whip. Very interesting. Yeah. Oh, I've gone overtime now. Naughty me. Yeah, so I've counted down now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So take care. Hope you enjoyed the live stream. And if you do want to rewatch it or catch up, there might be just a bit of time of processing whilst YouTube like uploads it for replay, and give or take a day or two for the live chat to show back up on screen when rewatching it. And if you want to find this live stream again or any previous ones, when you go on my main channel page, head on over to the tab section where it says videos, shorts, then click live, and that live tab will show these type of videos here, live streams which then become videos once they're finished. So with that all being said, my name's Wally Raff. Take care for now, and I'll see you either tomorrow or the day after with a normal live video premiere, looking at some alternative interesting things with possible military and more so aliens on Kenny Veach. Goodbye, good night for now.